What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 50 of Directly to You, our weekly Nintendo podcast. This week is a special week because Parker is a ghost. And because of this, not only am I joined by Logan, we're also joined by Dan Cybert of That Cybert Channel.
That's me.
Hi, hello.
Hi, hello.
That's me. Hello. Hello, that's
Hi,
me.
hello. But you need to stop talking because we need to pay the bills around this place. You know how we pay the bills with supporters like you guys? You can become a member on youtube.com/fanatics4 for $4.99 a month. And what do you get for that? You get exclusive emotes. You get loyalty badges. You get gaming time with us from time to time. You get free Switch keys. I just got a couple of Switch keys just sitting in my email right now that I'm like, I can give these to supporters. That's never required. We also have Amazon affiliate links in our descriptions and whatnot. That helps the channel too. Or you could become a supporter through Anchor listener support, from anywhere from $1 to $10. You get a lot of those perks if you pay at that same level, but ultimately, I'm going to be real with you. You want to be a member if you want to get the best bang for your buck. Okay? That's it. What are you guys playing?
You might have remembered Dan from episode 10. So if I remember,
Has it really been that long?
It has been a while.
I would laugh if it was 10. I don't know what episode it was, but it's been a while.
Yeah.
And just because I'm like, and me and you talked about this, Dan, but I'm like just super like cognizant of like everybody else's schedule, where it's like I know that if somebody told me where it's like, hey, 3 minutes from now I'm doing a podcast, you want to do it? All right, cool. I wouldn't be able to do that. So I know you won't be able to do it because I largely decide when I do what for this channel.
Right.
You don't have that luxury all the time.
No. I have so many other people telling me deadlines that another 3 minutes till deadline thing, and just I would explode, literally.
Right. So I try to give you like a year. I'm like, hey Dan, a year from now.
Yeah, we planned this way back in January.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but it has been a while though since we had you on the episode.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute.
Yeah, it has.
Right. I want to have guests more often, but again, it's just a thing of that, where it's like, ultimately, you guys got to just let me know. Where it's like, oh yeah, you're going to record directly to you this week, right? I'm free,
Great. So I got permission to now
way.
pester you in DMs being like,
yes, just invite yourself.
There you go.
I'll see
Learn
you
from
Friday.
me with Bob. Bob rarely ever asks me, Bob's rarely like, hey, I'm going to do this video. I think you're going to fit. Bob we just toss our ideas back and forth where it's like, I'm going to do this video. And then whoever is like, I want to be on that. Like I said, I was going to do the Mario Maker video. Bob inserted himself. He said publicly about this show, he's like, why have I not been on this podcast? And, it happened because he invited himself. That's how things work around here.
Yep.
But to answer your earlier question,
Yes.
Kingdom Hearts 3 and Smash Brothers.
I'm just playing Smash Brothers. I know Dan's playing Kingdom Hearts 3 too. So let's just talk about that in depth. You know what I mean?
In depth?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, Dan. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's been absolutely hell these last freaking 3 weeks have been the worst in my life. So while everyone has already finished Kingdom Hearts and they're all like, yeah, that was the thing that happened, they're all walking away. I'm like, guys, hold on. I'll meet you at the next game. Just go on without me. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like I just finished the Big Hero 6 world. So I'm trying to catch up, and then
I'm not even there.
Yeah, you're further than I am.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm not even there.
Further then.
Yeah.
But I'm juggling Kingdom Hearts and Octopath Traveler 2 at the same time.
Okay.
So two very time-consuming games.
Right.
I didn't play that. Logan did. Hashtag free product provided by Nintendo.
So okay. So one okay RPG and one great RPG. Okay, all right. No.
Which one is which? You decide.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just feel, and then I want to hear your take on this too. I mean, how versed are you in Kingdom Hearts like before this game?
I played the first, second, and watched. I played through Chain of Memories. I didn't play too many of the offshoots, but I watched enough videos to know what's going on and to do the colossal facepalm that is the Kingdom Hearts plot.
Okay.
So, I mean, I remember when Kingdom Hearts was announced and how hyped it was. Like, I was in high school, and my buddies and I were watching the Kingdom Hearts trailer over and over and over.
Right.
We were so pumped.
Yeah.
And then, like, looking retrospectively at it, because I played through the first and second again, like, a couple years back, and just going, oh my god, these lines of dialogue, this plot, this is just...
You hear, like, darkness 572 times, and then heart... Like, just as much.
Heart is just all over the place.
It's
like,
littered. It's riddled throughout, and
it's like a meme that's like, oh, take a shot if you hear darkness, and it's like, no, you'll
die. You will die.
You will die much sooner if you take a shot every time they say heart.
Exactly.
Because heart is like significantly more ubiquitous throughout that game.
It's like any variation of like heartless. It's like if you,
yeah,
you're gonna die. So essentially, like what I'm getting is like you're a fan, but you weren't like chomping at the bit. I can't wait till 3.
Oh no, I mean the thing is, I love Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
And the worst part about it is that I can't explain why I love it. When every single time I play, like I played it on stream 3 times, and every single time I'm just sitting there going, "This dialogue's so cringy. Why do I like this?"
Yeah.
And I think it just appeals to like a simpler, innocent time in our lives where life isn't complicated. It's white. It's black and white, right?
Now, can you?
It's simple and clean. Some may say.
Can you still say that added the convoluted story? As far as adding.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because evil triumphs. That it's just random crap thrown at a wall called plot, but it doesn't matter because you got the heart with the key and the light and the darkness, and you'll defeat evil.
And I
see, for me, it's like I like Kingdom Hearts, and I don't like it that much, where it's like I'm detached. I'm like, it looks neat, but that's my level of interest in it. It's just because it looks cool. I understand the plot as much as somebody possibly could.
Right.
But it's that has nothing to do with why I like the game. The combat's fine, but it's not good enough for it to be like, for me to be like, that's why I like this game. I just think it looks cool. Like, that's all of it. That's just it. Like, I like Disney fine. Has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it's mash X to win. Is the gameplay. And I appreciate in Kingdom Hearts 3, there are options to not just mash X to win. You don't have to take any of those options.
There's triangle and
it's now X and triangle to win.
And I told AJ this before the game even came out. I was like, it's not going to be, and not to knock the game or anything, but no game could meet those high expectations set as far as like we've been waiting for this for such a long time, and it's finally come out. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of feels underwhelming. Like the gameplay is good and everything. I don't know. It's just something I just can't put my finger on it. I'm just like, this isn't. It's a good game, but it isn't like. This is GOTY material. It's just not that for me.
Yeah,
it's just not that.
I feel like it's weird because I would say that a lot of that is because of that hype, where it's like you're hyping it up in your mind and you're like, this is gonna be 10 out of 10 material. And we have friends that are like, before a game came out, before the game was even announced to be like releasing in any window at all, game of the year, whatever year comes out, game of the year.
Right.
For those people, I feel like. For those people that are honest with themselves, because some of them are like, I don't care, it's game of the year, period. It could be the worst game ever, and it's still game of the year.
Right.
But I would have said that that's why that it feels underwhelming is because you were like actively excited for it. But like I wasn't even going to buy the game on PlayStation 4 because it's inevitably going to come out on Switch, and I'll probably finish it on that. So I was like, I'll wait until it comes out on Switch. And I got it anyway, and I didn't have all this, like, years of hype. Like, I played the other games, but I wasn't, like, chomping at the bit for the next one. And I still feel underwhelmed. It's like, I just think it's...
For me,
Hey, babe.
I was super hyped when they announced it. I was like, this looks great. It looks beautiful. It looks like they're going to really change how the game's played. But that was when they first announced it, like, what, 2 years ago at E3?
Well, when they announced this game like 4 years ago.
Yeah. So I got
when it was like on the Luminous engine.
Yeah, and I got super hyped for it. And then I just kind of like as it got closer and closer, I was like I'm excited for it. I'm definitely going to get it. I know I'm going to like it, but I'm whelmed. I'm ready to be whelmed.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And I think that's just kind of the nature of also what we do in our jobs, in that it's hard for me to get hyped about games now, because when I think about a new game coming out, I go, okay, well, what freaking video or what should I stream?
Yeah.
And it just like it brings stress instead. So instead of getting hyped, I'm just like, can I make a video on that? Is there something that could be around there? No? All right. I guess I'll just keep editing then.
Yeah. I agree with that, but at the same time, though, like Smash Brothers, you know what I mean?
Smash was great. Smash lived up to it.
I feel like for Smash Brothers, if I gotta figure out this computer situation, because if it was like less of a pain in the ass to stream, I would just be streaming this game all the time.
Right.
Like just at every moment, if I'm not scripting a video or editing or recording a podcast or emailing somebody about something, then I would be playing this game and streaming it. And that's like a good 4 hours a day. That's a good amount of times to stream.
Yeah.
But my computer just annoys my soul, so I just want to do it one time and be done with it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, in that regard, I don't have a problem with my computer doing literally anything else. But streaming is just like, you're not allowed to do that. You have to hate your life if you're going to do that specific thing.
It's just funny that it's taken like between OBS and Elgato, like on the Mac. It's so bizarre to me how it's still taking this long to get to the point where they function together.
Yeah, because like literally there's like small stopgaps that seem small, but it like completely rear ends the whole situation. Whereas like if I could just use OBS, I would be fine.
Yeah.
It's the fact that I have to have Elgato plugged into their streaming and then have that actively like capturing and streaming video and audio, and then capturing that and actively stream that from OBS. So I'm effectively running 2 streams at once just to be able to have one. So that like completely cripples my computer.
Yeah.
So because I'm actively running 2 streams at one time.
You would need a Mac Pro with like 10 processors in there and a couple graphics cards to make all of that work.
Or at least just like not a laptop, you know what I mean?
Yes, definitely.
Like literally anything, like again, like I edit on Final Cut Pro. Like our edits are fairly like complicated as far as like animations and stuff like that. Like that's not something that like just any computer can do and render in like less than a half an hour.
Yeah.
My computer does that. My fans don't even kick up when I'm rendering my videos. But streaming is just like, nope, rip. You know, like can't do that. So yeah, I love Smash Brothers, but like I wish I could stream it more. You know?
Yeah.
Speaking of Smash Bros, I pulled off the craziest freaking win yesterday. It was absolutely ridiculous. So, you guys mind if I go off on this little?
Go off on the table.
All right, cool. It's fine.
This is your show. You guys do what feels good in your heart and the light with the king.
We can't talk about hearts. We already passed
Kingdom
Hearts.
Shit.
We can't do it. It's over.
But anyways, so I'm Wolf, right? And I'm going against a Daisy, and she's completely just whooping me to start off the match. I think I had like 90%, and she had like I didn't even touch her yet. So she just blows out 2 of my stock. So I'm 1 stock. She has all of hers left. Somehow I come back and win. It's absolutely insane. Needless to say, I freaking converted that into a video instantly. I was like, yes. Wow. I was like, yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. I was like, wow.
It's almost like you have a Twitter and you should maybe tweet things like that. I don't know. But no, I've been compiling.
I need to like edit and like put like a voiceover clip and be like, here's just a video, and I'll put commentary in it. I don't know. As far as like directly to you, like that's DTY content, not
some type of content.
But that right
something. There. I've been like saving all my Venusaur spikes because it's usually not something I go for. Mm-hmm. But like if it's there, it's there.
Right. You know, I mean,
and his hitbox is so big that it's like sometimes you just got to run off stage, and like I think that it makes it easier to spike people if you don't always go for it because they're not expecting it.
That is true. That is true. Because
like when I fight you in Mario, you almost never get them on me because I know you're going to do it.
Hey, don't be giving away my secret sauce.
It's just true. You always do it.
Guys, forget everything you just said. Forget it. No, but yeah, you're right.
But yeah. So one of these days, I'm just going to drop it because like it's like.
Speaking of dropping, no, go ahead.
No, wait. We're going to do it. We're going to get into the news. We're going to do it, I swear. But like, it's just this weird balance of like people being like, "Yo, AJ's nice at Smash Bros." and simultaneously being like, "AJ's not that good at Smash." And it's like I gotta disrespect people for them to understand.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared now because you've been playing, so I'm like I don't know where it's gonna go because we were last time we played we were like kind of like no we don't I think
last time we played most of the wins went to me.
All right. We'll give out.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
No, but yeah, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I'm very content sitting in mid tier. I'm feeling real good here. Like I don't need to be top tier. I ain't got time for that. But like
same, yo, I agree. But it's just a thing of like I'm by no means am I saying I'm 0 level. You know, I'm not sitting here like the Leffins and the E-Sans be like I'm a god at this game. I'm a god, blah blah. But it's like no, amongst us mortals, us people that don't literally spend 8 hours a day streaming and getting paid to play this game.
No, I'm joking.
I am a champion among mortals. I am the champion, and that is fine.
Yeah, exactly. Like us earthly beings, any one of y'all. I got it.
Speaking of I got it, we got it. Super Mario Maker 2. All right.
Finally.
Yeah, I know you were super excited when we saw that. Huh?
I'm not going to say.
So happy.
Yeah.
For Bob.
I'm not going to say that. This is true. This is true. But Bob, like this is Bob's moment. You know, like this would be like if Pokemon Switch was everything I wanted it to be.
Yeah. It's like let AJ have his moment. It's good.
Right.
Okay.
So Bob, this is definitely Bob's moment.
All right.
Like me and Bob both wanted this game, and we made a video, and we called most of the stuff that they put in there. I'm just saying. You know, people were like, "Oh no, they're not going to do that. This game won't work on there because what about the stylus? They'll never do it." And it's like, yeah, okay, but like. But what are you saying now? You know, like I just wanted to like go through and pull the comments and then be like, they're not going to make this game, blah blah. You're all stupid, and I hate you.
It's gonna be a little bit more cumbersome without the stylus, but it's gonna be fine.
But it won't though.
Yeah,
like
it won't be that bad.
No, but it won't be bad at all, though. Like, using a touchscreen. Since when have you ever used your phone without a stylus and been like, man, this is so hard to do?
Right, yeah.
Set aside touchscreen. Like, we know the touchscreen's going to be mad. You know those people that are kind of upset without the stylus are also thinking, like, when you have it in docked mode and you have to use the joysticks to do some of it.
Oh, that's so difficult.
It's so hard to use buttons for menus.
It's fine, people.
How will we ever use buttons for menus?
I never did that before. I don't know anyone who has.
I've never used buttons on a menu in my life.
Okay, so in case you guys are living under a giant, huge rock and you guys don't know, Super Mario Maker 2 is coming out June 2019 and adds a lot of features, including but not limited to slopes, and more slopes. Furthermore, we see the addition of lots of new items along with 3D World and its content. You can also customize side scroll in auto-scrolling levels. Vertical levels seem to have arrived, and quite notably, it appears there is multiplayer of some sort. Also, playable Luigi, Toadette, and Toad.
Nice. Parker also adds, who's a ghost. R.I.P. Parker. He says, outside of Nintendo news, the other YouTube channels I follow are Mario Maker / Mario Speedrun. So this announcement is almost more exciting for me as a content consumer as it is as a Switch enthusiast. Well said, Parker. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
But yes, I'm down. Also, is Toadette being in this game? Does that mean that we're going to get the Super Crown?
Oh,
I mean, we should.
Oh no.
And that also means Bowsette is canon, right?
Yeah. That just started the clock on all this again.
Yeah. I just want to
I'm just saying if that happens.
No, but guys,
I called that too.
Yeah. My panelist here. All right, guys. We gotta pour out the whatever you're sipping. If you're not sipping anything, go to the refrigerator and then pour it out for the Wii U because this was the last. This is the final thing they had on the Switch. The last piece of content
this
that
direct
they had that we didn't have, but now it's like
This Direct
we have it finally.
simultaneously murdered the Wii U and the 3DS.
Yeah, no. There's literally no reason to have those consoles now.
Oh, you mean with the the link between what?
We're going to get into that right after this. Yeah. But yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
There's nothing left. There's no reason to have a 3DS, and there hasn't been a reason to have a Wii U other than Mario Maker for quite a long time now, since Smash Brothers, really.
Yeah.
But now they're just really doubling down on it. Now all they got to do is like once they start porting like the D tier stuff, like the Wonderful 101s, then it's really like digging it further in its grave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're really just twisting that knife in there, like you're dead. You're dead now.
You just can't leave it with anything.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't that successful, so why taking all these games and putting it into giving them potentially new life, like. Wonder if the Wonderful 101 does a lot better on the Switch. And
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either. But like some of these gems or these games that got, I don't want to say screwed because they're on the Wii U, but
I mean they did.
They did. Yeah, like will some of these find a completely new life on the Switch, or will some of them just see those small pocket of fans enjoy it and then move on?
I think Mario Kart really sealed in their minds that Wii U just doesn't deserve to have anything, because they put Mario Kart on Switch, just the port. It wasn't even like an ultimate situation where it's like, let's take our work and like add to it and put it on Switch. They just ported it over, and it almost doubled. It almost doubled the Wii U sales. For like 4 years worth of sales for that game? It doubled it in less than 2.
Wow,
that's sad.
That's insane. That's crazy. So it's like at that point, it's like, all right, we're porting everything. We're bringing the Pikmin 3s, the Captain Toad, all that crap.
Yeah.
The stuff that's like, oh, this is a B tier. Maybe it'll sell 1 million units on Wii U or whatever. Here, they're like, nah, we're just putting everything.
Right, exactly.
I'm okay.
And speaking of putting everything. Is that a good segue? Is that a good?
No, it's not.
It works. It works. We're going to use it. The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening being remade for the Switch. Thoughts, guys?
Yes.
Thoughts on this?
Yes, I'll take it.
I'm so excited. This was the first Zelda game I actually ever finished. Because I played a lot of the original Zelda, but when at that age I didn't have the mental comprehension to figure out puzzles and there was no internet. God damn it.
Yeah, but say showing your age there, Dan.
Yeah, I know, a little bit. But like Link's Awakening was really the first Zelda game I truly like remember. And so like to see it being remade makes me so happy.
Yeah. This was one of the only Zelda games that I haven't finished. I've messed with it here and there, like I have with every Zelda game at some point.
Right.
I don't have a huge attachment to it, but I do like the idea of them bringing more, just different types of Zelda games. Bring the 2D games here, whatever.
I was gonna say that this also like is holding true to their goal of like a year, every year we're gonna put.
Well, we don't even know if that was actually their goal, but the rumored goal of every Zelda.
I mean, it's holding strong so far.
Right.
So we'll see next year. Full-fledged, huh?
I was gonna say that I'm curious to see how like what the pricing model for this game will be. Like, is it $60? And is it just Link's Awakening? Like, how long would you say Link's Awakening is?
See, I just started streaming it again, and I realized really quickly that you could blow through this game really fast. I finished.
We're talking like under 6 hours.
Definitely under 60. Definitely under.
No, 6. I said.
I thought you said 60. I was like, that's really high, AJ.
No.
I under 6. I would say maybe under 10 if you're really like exploring it and playing it for the first time.
Guys, that's why they rebooted it from the ground up and they added double the content and double the hours. So it'll be 20 hours long.
I think if we can get at least 10 hours out of it, I think that you can charge $60 for a 10
Wait, hold on. Wait.
10 hours.
Wait. What's the average length for a Zelda game? Now that we're even talking about.
I'd say like 20 on the low end
Yeah.
for Zelda games. For the
with obviously Breath of the Wild being the exception because, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is
you
like
can do it in 2.
yeah. There's a wide spectrum with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're just going to just beat all the dungeons and defeat whoever the big baddie of that game is, yeah, I mean, like 20 seems about right. But if I mean, the nice thing, the thing that draws people in for Zelda is like the side quest. That's like half the, you know, extra 20 hours of content, collecting every heart piece and
Right.
finding all, like, the best weapon, you know, whatever best sword is available in that game. That's what drives the hours up. And so but the thing with Link's Awakening is that it was one for the Game Boy, so it was inherently shorter because batteries and all that sort of stuff. Like
the hardware limitations at the time.
Yeah, I could have, if I really focused up, I finished 2 dungeons on stream, and I probably could have done a third had I focused a little bit more. And
You're playing DX, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how long the beat says the average for the main story is 14 and a half hours. Main plus extra is 15 hours. Completionist is 16 hours.
So what do you guys think? Is that like does that marry the $60 price tag?
Yeah, and I want to be clear that like I'm not big on attributing length to how much a game is worth, but I just mean like how much I think would hold over people that usually do. I mean, to be clear,
yeah, I mean,
because there's a lot of dumb stuff that people are like, Octopath Traveler, the visual style doesn't look like it should be a $60 game, you know, like dumb stuff like that.
Yeah,
I hate that. We're not fans of this art design. It's the style. So, I mean, they got away with it with Kirby Star Allies, and that's like what, 4?
Yeah.
So at the same time, it's like, you know, I mean, so that's not really a good metric.
Depth. You're right.
It's a perspective thing, right? It's like if it doesn't matter how long the game is does it feel like it was a grand adventure? Did you feel like you got everything that the game had to offer before it got old? So like a Kirby game, yeah, it's only gonna take 4 hours. I could beat Kirby All-Stars for Super Nintendo in maybe 2.
Right. Yeah.
And like that feels complete to me. Like I feel, I got everything I wanted out of this game. I can already tell you, running through 2 dungeons on Link's Awakening, I was kind of going, this is moving a little fast. I'm kind of worried about a $60 price tag, because if it feels like it moves too fast, or it doesn't feel like it takes time to develop, then it's not going to feel like it's worth $60, and it'll feel more like it's worth $40. So honestly, I'm hoping that they actually beef up the dungeons, because the dungeons are really, 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 really simple. Like hardly any. There's hardly anything. I can't see them
not doing that.
Yeah,
because like, when have they remade a Zelda game in this way and not done something in addition to it? You know?
Right. Yeah,
and it's not like they haven't even done it on this level where it's like we're taking one game that had this art style and completely reinventing it in a way. They haven't done that for a Zelda game before. Before this, it was either a sequel with Link Between Worlds, or it was just like HD versions where we have Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. And even those 2, they added and changed and, you know, rearranged things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think here maybe we'll get more dungeons or something like that if it is $60.
I think it's easy to make them bigger, just because if you try to make the overworld bigger, it starts to get a little tricky with, you know, just stuff gets moved around or whatever. But dungeon, you enter a door and it takes you to a different map. It's easy to just build out a bit more puzzles that aren't that simple, because a lot of the puzzles I was running into in the very beginning are like, oh, just jump over this pit with the rock feather. Great job. And I'm like, oh, okay, so this is what we're doing. I got it.
So it's like a little pat on the head, like, oh, you're doing all right.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely feels like a Game Boy game where you only have so much time on your battery life, so you have to get things moving faster, else you're not going to finish a dungeon in one sitting.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, final thoughts. We all think that they're gonna add more to this than just okay, it looks better. It's they're. I mean, because obviously I don't think they're just gonna here's some improved graphics and different art style and that's it. I don't think they do that. I think they would a little more ambitious. Than
that. I think them making this their one more thing. This is a big deal announcement. Says to me that this is like a major title for them, and like even the fact that like something as simple as them visually attaching this to Breath of the Wild by like doing the whole white logo thing.
Right.
That to me says that they want brand recognition from the 10 million people that bought Breath of the Wild. And for those people, they're going to have to do more than just here's a Game Boy game, but with prettier graphics.
Right.
Yeah.
Parker says, I am beyond excited for this game. I love this game, the Oracle of Seasons from the Game Boy era, and hope they bring the Oracle of Seasons games next. I never played the Oracle. Have you guys played the Oracle of Seasons games?
I played Seasons on 3DS.
And then what was the other one? Ages?
Yeah, Seasons.
Yes.
Seasons and Ages. I've touched Seasons for a little bit. I tried it out with my friends, but I've never actually gotten a chance to get in there and play it all the way through.
Okay. Well, let's hope your students get all the way through it in Fire Emblem Three Houses. Now,
Oh my god.
guys, I'll be honest.
Great.
Thank you.
10 out of 10. Nice work.
So, thank you. Fire Emblem Three Houses is coming out July 26th. And like, we got a little bit about the world, and we saw what exactly the Three Houses represent. That being these lands that are I forget the name of the.
Dan, where's your notes?
Yeah, my notes. I took so many
Thank
notes,
you,
like
thank you.
articles on the ground.
Thank you.
We had
Wait,
we streamed this.
But before we get to that, I just want to get you guys' opinions on as far as like how do you feel about the whole you're a teacher role? It's there.
I mean, honestly, through a lot of this, I checked out just because, like, it was a bit like what I was saying with like we streamed it, and we're like, oh, they said this, Dan, write that,
Yeah.
So it's like that part was more because I don't know. I feel like Fire Emblem is one of those games that it's kind of like the World of Light mode, where it's more interesting in practice than it is being told about it, because they overcomplicate it and they make it seem like this like bloated like crazy thing that you don't even want to like deal with.
Right.
So it's hard to talk about a game like that, and especially talk about it at length and make it interesting.
I feel as though, and I saw a funny comment on the direct, and somebody had said, this game went from Fire Emblem Game of Thrones to Fire Emblem Hogwarts, and
I'm seeing a lot of people throw that around. The Hogwarts.
It's funny. But I feel as though it's in the sense of like, okay, here's this game where you're moving these squadrons or whatever what have you around the battlefield, and it's like instead of them being like faceless, I don't care about these characters, they're kind of like give you that attachment, like, oh no, this is your student, this is you're building these. I mean, it's kind of cool in that way.
Yeah,
and it's
I think it's fitting.
Right, definitely, yeah.
For me, here's my thing. It adds a super interesting story element to it, where if all these kingdoms are at peace and they're all coming to this school and you're teaching them, and then suddenly all three of them start going to war with another, and you kind of have to. You're trying to be as neutral as you can, and eventually you can't anymore, and you have to, pick a side and hurt like these people you built a bond with. But the way they presented it feels like a high school anime Fire Emblem game.
Like a Persona game.
Yeah. It did.
Like Persona.
You're right. It did take on that.
It's for someone that doesn't like. A friend of mine is super hyped for this game. He's super, super excited about it. And after the trailer, he was like, "This looks great." And I'm like, "Good for you." But as someone from the outside looking to like, maybe I should try a Fire Emblem game, I see this and it turns me off to it.
Yeah.
And I hate
for me,
saying
it's
that,
like,
but
I'm somewhere in the middle, because it's like I'm not a huge Fire Emblem fan. I'm not a huge RPG guy, but I did play Fire Emblem Awakening, and like once you like kind of let yourself be in it, where it's like you start to like let yourself care, and not be jaded about it.
Right.
Yeah,
It's easier to like be invested because like me and Logan both we like had this like attachment with Frederick because he's like freaking monstrous. So it's like if you lose him, it's like oh my god, like I can't let him die because
Right.
he's the tank. You know, he's the one that's going to get us through this next battle or whatever.
Yeah, he was, and he had the craziest one-liners too. Like before critical, pick a god and pray. I was like,
exactly.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So you just know it's gonna end crazy.
So I feel like having this like more like hands-on approach to like developing a relationship with your squad is a smart move for them.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, overall thoughts. Does this hurt or help the Fire Emblem formula?
I think that in practice it could be cool. I think talking about it is not interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think that it hurts it per se, but I don't think
I think it's
anybody that wasn't interested in this through this direct was not like, "Yup, I'm in, I'm sold." You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If anything, it's decisive in the fact that people that if this appeals to your taste, that you're in. If it's not, you're out. And so it's hard now because those middle ground people that were kind of like sitting there like, I don't know, I've never played a Fire Emblem, don't know if I know about Marth because of Smash Bros. Should I get into this franchise? Oh, it's a school? Maybe not.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it kind of, you know, from an outsider looking in, it paints the narrative like, was this always how it was? You know, and it's like, that is true.
Yeah. But also just, I mean, this is just a quick thing. It's just the storytelling in Eastern culture versus Western culture it's very, very different. That's why a lot of people have a hard time getting into anime because it is a very different form of storytelling that's a bit more exaggerated and odd. And so it's hard to embrace that when, you know, Western storytelling is very much like real gritty and, you know, tries to, you know, no happy endings except we'll give you happy endings because that's what the producer said. That's the hard thing is like maybe for Japan, that trailer was just everything they needed and they're all in. But as far as a Western audience is concerned, that's kind of like, oh, so it's kind of like a anime Game of Thrones. It's more like, oh, maybe not. So, you know, it's a little rambly, but that's kind of... That's end of rambling.
I completely get it.
Parker goes on to say, Rip Parker, thank you for your comment. I'm hoping this will be my first Fire Emblem game, although it didn't really get a good grasp of what the progression of the game will be. Every game needs to have an end goal in mind, and teaching students so they can just get stronger isn't the goal. So what is the Elite Four of this game? I'm expecting I'll be more excited once I've seen some more of it, but I need a bit more.
Rip Parker, you know what I mean? Going too soon. Young promise in mind.
Well, I mean,
can we put some F's in the comments?
I think they kind of touched on like as far as like the conflict of, you know, what these the three houses, but they didn't really delve into, you know, like here's the main and they touched on your father for a brief moment for whatever reason. I don't know what that was about.
That's
that
a first for anime.
That's first for definitely Fire Emblem. They never got into the whole this is your family. This is, you know.
I mean, they did in Awakening.
They did?
Your family, like Lucina. Spoilers. She's your family. Or she's Crom's family.
Yeah, somebody in the comments is going to go, actually, in Radiant Dawn?
Yeah, can't wait. It's going to be great.
yeah, I know.
Actually, in the Japan exclusive Game Boy game.
In version 1.2a, actually?
So actually,
in the short run manga that was exclusive to Jump Festa and Tendy.
He said, actually, if you watch the anime season short on Crunchyroll, you were It's like, wow.
We just opened the floodgates.
We did. And Platinum Games opened something interesting.
God, I hate it already.
With Astro Chain. Have you guys... Now, that looks very interesting.
I thought it was Xenoblade.
Man, show Astro Chain some respect.
I was like, is this Xenoblade? Like, I mean, I said it during the stream. I was like, yo, is this Xenoblade?
We thought... Yeah, you mentioned that, and I took a pause and I went, huh... kind of. But then I went, this is such a departure from the environments that Xenoblade's kind of created for it.
I mean, is it? Xenoblade Chronicles X.
I guess it's the same sense of like, you know, going from Final Fantasy 6 to 7, how suddenly it's steampunk.
Yeah, because that's how
like,
X was.
Yeah.
X was like a mech game or whatever. Yeah. And I thought they might have been doing a sequel to that.
You know what it looks like? It looks like, what's that one? Nier Automata mixed with Xenoblade. It looks like a cross.
Well,
because there's like androids and...
It was like a producer or a director from Nier is actually worked on this, if I remember right.
Wow. I'm patting myself on the back for that one. Okay, all right. No, that's cool.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
I'm down. It looks cool.
It does.
I'm fine with it.
Oh yeah.
I usually am more interested in action RPGs than I am in regular RPGs. It depends on how RPG it is, though. Yeah. Where it's like the Kingdom Hearts level of like it's pretty much an RPG, but you press X more often. Just a little bit over on the edge past that. That's usually the sweet spot.
Also August 30th, in case you guys are wondering the date.
Oh yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm in that floating pattern of I need to see more before I write Nintendo and say, hey, how about this game for me?
I, on the other hand, asked them for everything.
Yeah, you asked them for everything, but there was something in it that just didn't quite grasp me, and I think it's going to come down to story and character more than anything, because that whole like morphing sequence thing felt a little, I don't know, it feels stiff and cliche right now.
Okay, yeah, you feel like, okay, I've seen it before, what else you got?
Yeah, I'm not if the gameplay's good, because ultimately at the end of the day this is a video game, and sometimes story is just something that doesn't really matter as long as you can have a good time smashing the A and B button a bunch. If the combat's really good and it plays fine, then I'm in. But right now I'm not sold on it yet. I need more.
And speaking of someone who else needs more, Parker also echoes your thoughts. He says, I don't know whether to be excited about it myself or not yet. It looks pretty cool, but I'll need to know a bit more before going all in. So he echoes the same thoughts.
And he didn't stick around. I mean, Rick
right.
Parker,
he'll
never
stick
make a
around
decision.
long enough for it to come out.
Exactly.
Maybe it was this game's fault,
Probably.
So sad.
So sad that we're getting Box Boy. I don't know. I was looking for something, you guys didn't give it to me.
I mean, if you were a real gamer boy, you would know that the last Box Boy game was called Goodbye Box Boy. So that could have been a good way to segue into this.
Oh man!
But you're stupid and you're not
this guy.
a real gamer.
You guys so mean to each other. It's so. How do you think I feel sitting here watching you guys fight?
Actually, no. Actually, I did play Box Boy. I did. I just forgot about it because it sucked. No. No. I played it. Oh, and what did I play? I think it was on PS4. I think
it's not on. You're an idiot.
Oh no.
Do you see what I mean to him now?
Wait, no.
It's a HAL Laboratory game.
Oh, see, yeah, it was on. Listen, I played some. Listen. I got this confused with Meat Boy. My bad.
Oh, see.
Okay. I didn't play Box Boy. It looks like a fun puzzle game. I think it's good to bring it to the Switch, because I think the Switch is a great platform for some of these, like, pick up and play puzzle games when you're just on the go and you need to kill like 20 minutes on the way to work or something.
Yeah, well said, Dan. Sheesh. No. All right, so April 26th. Get it or don't get it, I don't care.
This is just solidifying the fact that RIP 3DS.
Yeah, 3DS is done.
RIP. Oh, that's what I played it on.
There it is.
I forgot it was. Wow. Well.
Fake game.
I forgot it was.
Exposed.
I forgot that's what I played. Dang.
Exposed.
All right. Shut up. Okay, Parker says, I think they will keep doing just a little bit smaller budget games, first party games, but not really go all at what? Yeah, I think I'm not. All right, Parker,
Rip Parker. I think he was responding to the prompt that's in the
the prompt.
You know, breaking down the fourth wall.
All right.
This is postmodern podcast, guys. We're gonna show you everything that we do.
Exactly. Actually, I'm sipping on a beer, so there you go. No,
damn it.
Dragon Quest is something that we all love. So something that I love.
Is it though?
So something that I don't know. Dan, you play Dragon Quest?
I've never played it.
Wow.
I've always been like, I kind of want to give this a shot, but then I usually get distracted by other games.
It's a game full of Gokus. Everybody's a Goku.
That's messed up.
Every single character.
Even if it is true.
Even though the main character looks like Trunks.
He looks like Goku too.
Yeah,
like
that's the thing.
Trunks.
I did not like the design of the character for this game. And what is this game, ladies and gentlemen? Dragon Quest 11 launching with lots of extra.
What's the full title? Tell us
with
the full
lots
title.
of extra
Logan.
content.
Say the full title.
Oh, I don't even know. I can't be. I don't know.
It's in the notes.
In the notes.
You're an idiot. It's Dragon Quest 11 X Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition.
That's way too long. Anyways,
Yeah.
yes, cool. I guess I don't know. I didn't get it. I didn't get it when it was available in the other consoles. I didn't jump at it.
Sure, why not? I guess. This is like a.
Don't say that. You're not gonna even get it.
I mean, the product provided by Nintendo. You know what I mean? But the 3DS version is supposed to be a cross between. I mean, it's supposed to be like a cross between the 3DS version and the PlayStation 4 version in some aspects. Like they have the 16-bit style graphics and whatnot.
Oh yay!
That's neat.
This, for me, this is more of a. I mean, sure, this is exciting for Dragon Quest people, but for me, this brings up a presentation issue in the fact that that trailer was just spitting mechanics.
Yes.
I don't understand why, if you're trying to get someone hyped about your game, would you go into that depth of some of the more mundane mechanics and not let them explore that?
I mean, like, what else is there to like really blow out an RPG?
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, yeah, but the thing is like, if I'm watching a trailer, I don't want a tutorial on how to play the game.
I completely agree with you, but I'm also not Mr. JRPG, so I can't speak for them. You know, like I don't know why they like these games. They're all stupid. No, I'm joking.
Wow!
No, I'm joking.
No, he was dead serious. I heard the hate. No,
I'm joking. But I just like maybe they're like, oh man, like this is the depth I've been looking for in a game. Like I really like this nitty gritty, like old school, like pressing X on the menu screen.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's just. Again, it seems for me it's more of a disconnect between the Japanese market and the Western market that I can't comprehend. I just like maybe that's what the Japanese market's looking for. They're like, oh yeah, that's a very interesting mechanic. I can see how that works and everything. I'm like, just show me stabbing dudes.
That's a pretty menu.
Yeah.
Even though it's usually not. It's usually not.
Yeah, usually.
Maybe it is for them. I don't know.
I don't know, but like that in the direct it was such a buzzkill when we hit that trailer.
Yeah. Yep.
But
it was.
Parker says, I'm pretty positive I'm going to get and love this game, or wait until it's on sale a bit and add it to my backlog if I'm already behind on games, which I still am even now. So that he's just sitting in the middle. It's kind of weird that he prefaced this with like, I'm pretty sure.
The thing is,
but like, am I though?
What the thing about it is like, this was a game that like I can't even say excited for. Like I was like, okay, I want to get this at some point, but with everything else coming out, like you said, I got behind. I ended up not caring, and now I'm just like, Like,
can you believe that this was like the second game that we knew was coming to Switch?
Yeah,
it's like it was this and what Just Dance.
Yeah.
Were the games that like we knew were coming to Switch. And then after that, Sonic Forces, which rip. You know.
I don't know. It's
Sad times.
it looks like a good game. It also looks like a good entry. Like if you want to get into the Dragon Quest franchise, this looks like a good entry point.
Aren't all of them though? Aren't they kind of like Final Fantasy?
They're not. Of course, they're not directly sequel to each other as far as I know. That's not really Square Enix's MO to do that unless it's like
that would require them to be good at like overarching plots. Something that they're very much not good at.
I mean the game looks really pretty. But like I don't know. Maybe.
That's my whole takeaway with this game. It looks great visually. I really like that art style. I think it's a good spot for Switch. Like, just that game compared to, like, how it looks on PlayStation 4, like, this art style really lends itself well to Switch, where it's, like, it's not this huge, like, oh, my God, like, this looks like a PlayStation 2 game or whatever stupid thing people like to say about Switch games.
Right.
So, that much is a plus.
Yeah.
And also... what was a plus was all the things that were like launched and out and announced at that moment yesterday. During that, not yesterday, no, during.
You want to take that one again?
I do.
You comfortable with that take?
I mess it up. Also, what was the last thing you said?
What's also a plus is all the new content that came out yesterday.
Thank you. What was yes, that.
There you go.
Wow. The one true Battle Royale. Tetris 99 launched on the Switch as soon as the Direct was over. Yoshi has a demo. Daemon X Machina has a demo. Did you guys play that?
Yep.
What, Tetris?
No.
Or Daemon X Machina?
Daemon X Machina. X Machina.
Yeah, I play like the first 2 missions or whatever.
You like it?
It's fine. It's neat. It needs work.
I downloaded it and never got around to trying it out.
I think that I don't know, it feels kind of like, like it's kind of clunky.
It's the sensitivity, the initial sensitivity of it is so bad. Like a small tweak, like just twitching on the Joy-Con, and like suddenly you're looking behind you.
Somebody needs to become a better pilot. No, I don't know.
I didn't even play this with the Joy-Con. I used the Pro Controller, and it was like
same thing.
Yeah, it just feels real clunky.
Yeah.
That's the best way to summarize it. I think it's neat. It's like, oh man, look, I'm a robot. I'm in Gundam.
Yeah.
But like, other than that, it's like it needs work.
I
think...
Move it. Wait.
Oh, okay. Move on.
Yeah, I just want to talk about everything else that can. Deltarune also has a demo. Final Fantasy IX is out now. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker also has a 2-player update, and we'll be getting an expansion soon.
So I want to check out the Captain Toad Treasure Tracker DLC. Didn't do it yet. I downloaded all of these other things except for Final Fantasy.
I was gonna say you skipping Final Fantasy 9? What?
No,
honestly,
I didn't download that.
This is my first time going through it. But yeah.
I haven't done
Wait,
Final
you got
Fantasy
that?
9. I've already played Deltarune to completion, so.
Oh, what a internet person!
Yeah,
you're such a.
Oh my God! It's almost like for my job, I need to be aware of these internet games.
What a memer. But yeah, no, I don't know anything about Deltarune. I know it's like attached to Undertale in some way. But I downloaded it.
All right.
Did I play it? Nope, never even turned it on. But I will at some point, maybe.
Parker turned on Daemon X Machina. He said it was fairly good, but it needs a bit of work.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I don't know about the fairly good part. It's okay.
Do you guys?
But it does need work.
You guys tried Tetris 99, right?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
100%.
How? Like, I played it once. I got 10th place, and I went, okay, I get Tetris 99, and I have yet to touch it again.
I like it, but it doesn't feel like a battle royale game in the sense that like you're kind of in control of your own destiny in those games.
Yeah.
Where it's like you just kind of play good and be aware of your surroundings, and you're fine. But like in Tetris 99, if it just so happens that, because by default, who gets attacked is random. So if it just so happens that everybody's attacking you, you have to play extremely better than everybody else that isn't being attacked.
Yeah.
You know, rather than just being able to be like, oh, this guy's attacking me, so I'm going to get that, blah, blah, and dealing with everything moment to moment. You kind of had to like strategize in advance.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as I started getting focused, it was literal seconds before I was out.
Yeah, it's I like it just because I like Tetris, and it's like a easy thing to like turn on and like mindlessly play. But at the same time, I don't, because it's like so like variable in a way that I can't control. Because it's like one game, I'm not being attacked by everybody and their mother. And the next game, literally nobody else is attacking anybody but me.
Yeah, this is actually, I would think this is a game that could benefit from having a party, like a squad.
Yeah.
So I hope,
like what we were joking about.
Yeah, we were joking about it, but like after playing, I was like, if my squad would be fully attacked and we could work together to clear things, something about that seems
like
fun.
how dope would it be if like the team, like a communal pile of garbage was like accrued, and it's like, yo, Dan, I have garbage, do you have a line that you can clear? You know, like that would be so dope.
Yeah,
that'd be so dope. But nope, can't
see, here it is again, where we're asking for things and wanting things that aren't going to be included in the game, so that we just, our ideas just end up being better than what's presented. It sucks. Happens all the time. Happens all the time.
Yeah,
well, it's kind of the point of this channel.
yeah, true.
Also,
but sometimes we get Super Mario Maker 2, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And quickly before we move on, just talking about Yoshi, because AJ and I were talking a little bit about it. Yeah. It's adorable and I like it. I would say I love it.
I actually have to try the demo. I really want to try the demo.
I think the demo, even though it's probably the shortest, least substantive,
there's not a whole lot to it.
thing that we got today or this week, it's probably my favorite. You know, just because of it's so endearing, and Yoshi is just like a fun game to play.
Yeah, I
like the mechanics. I like how the platforming feels in Yoshi games just in general. So I'm down. I want more.
It's simple. It's cute. It's something that Alyssa and I can stream for quite a while. It's fun.
Yeah. The last one I played was the last one I've actually like remember playing to completion was Yoshi Story, and that was so long ago.
Yeah, and you got a lot of heat for making a video about this game.
But it was a successful hated video. Weird.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Turns out with your videos, it's weird. Yeah. It's so weird. But yeah, like I'm down. I want it. But I mean, at the same time, Yoshi just seems to do well for us anyway.
All right, another thing I'm down for. Smash Bros. 3.0. Now I want to talk about this just because I hated the way I hate the.
I don't know why they mentioned it. They mentioned it for literally no reason.
I hate the official, unofficial. The announcements aren't even announcements. I hate.
It's an announcement of the potential of a future announcement at some point.
I hate it. It's like, oh, Smash Bros. 3.0 is coming. What is it? We're not saying.
Like,
and then we got like a little.
You can't announce a new update unless you're going to follow that up with at least a tease of a feature. Yeah. You can't just, like, yeah, they announced that Joker is, what they say, mid-April?
Yeah.
Before the end of it.
And that should have been the headline.
That should have been it. And then, like, saying, we're also working on 3.0, be out soon. Small little blip.
Because they didn't do that with Piranha Plant. They didn't say 2.0 is coming. Also, Piranha Plant, you know?
Yeah.
We didn't even know about 2.0 until data miners, you know? Like, Nintendo didn't say, hey, 2.0 is a thing. Data miners did that. So why are we being told 3.0 is a thing without any details but that Joker might come around the same time?
And they showed, like, blurred out Switch footage, right? To be like, there's new features coming, and it's like, it was blurred out. I'm trying to remember.
I remember them showing, like, like an obscured view of
something.
Joker himself.
Yeah, and then
of his model.
It was like
I don't know
like,
about the new features.
It was like the Switch was like fizzled out and all that. It's kind of, I mean, it kind of I guess played into it kind of like reminded me of Persona 5, honestly. Like as far as like it's all like hacking and and then we saw that. I mean, Joker looked he looked clean on screen. I was like, all right, okay. But after that, it was like, okay, he's out in April. New features, not saying what they are. And then
I just want them to maybe I'll make a video about this. Never mind.
Okay.
I was going to say what I want them to do, but I'll just make a video.
I mean, I'll
not this week, but eventually.
We've talked about it so many times during this podcast, but like presentation of like, hyping people up and everything, there's more to it than just putting stuff on the screen. Yeah. And the more presentations I watch and everything, like there's an art form to doing a good presentation that builds hype that is going to sell your systems and everything. And it's like now that I'm starting to like realize and acknowledge what makes good presentations, it makes me mad every time something like this happens. Where it's such a nothing announcement.
They didn't
it's
even
almost
need to
like
announce
they
it.
just have a going quota for Smash Brothers, and it's always been that way ever since Smash Brothers and Directs have like been a thing in tandem with each other. Like if there's a relevant Smash Brothers game, we're going to get some type of Smash Brothers mention in every Direct because it just works. Like if you have a character having that cross logo across the screen with the like heart beating and the flames in the background, that's just a good beat. But if you can't put anything behind that, it just feels like wasted energy.
Yeah, I don't need to have Smash news every single Direct. If you got nothing, you don't need to show me. I'll be okay.
Agreed.
But I almost wonder if it's also, I guess on the other side of things, are they just doing it to cover their ass, or did they have something that they were gonna put in that slot and then it's like, okay, we got to get that video
Joker
to him,
maybe
now.
ready or something. I don't know. It just seems weird that we haven't seen anything of Joker at all, and he's supposed to come out in April. They said,
yeah,
that's weird. Like we saw gameplay of Piranha Plant the moment he was announced. So why haven't we seen anything with Joker?
I think they did that. I mean, in the previous DLC,
we didn't see any
Wii U,
gameplay when they. Yeah, I don't
know. It's weird. They might be having trouble. I don't know. It's all speculation at this point.
I don't know. If this 3.0 doesn't have improvements for online mode, I just don't really care.
Yeah, no,
honestly.
seriously, that definitely needs to happen.
The fight, the arena, the battle arenas need to have rules that you can change on the fly for starter, and there's a lot.
Parker says, I don't know. Definitely spirits. Maybe some modes coming back. Home run, etc. Maybe as much as a free Echo Fighter.
That would be dope.
That'd be cool, but
that'd be cool if they did it.
Why? I don't know if they would do that.
Yeah. They're pretty much done with Echoes at this point.
If they can't show us anything about Joker, then I mean, an Echo Fighter. I mean, as cool as it would be, and how most of the groundwork's done, is still kind of like, why?
Yeah, I don't know. And that's because they didn't give us anything. Yep. So nobody knows. So, rip.
Rip like Parker.
Everything else. We have a lot of things to talk about. First off, Oninaki, which is an RPG from Tokyo RPG Factory. I Am Setsuna, Lost Sphere, games of that from that.
That's what they worked on in the past.
And this game looks dope. I just like first of all just the way the mechanics are, like traversing between the dark world and the regular, and then it just looks. I'm gonna sink a lot of hours to this. It's not a
Dan, did you retain any of that? Any of that segment?
That trailer?
Like
I remember what Logan is talking about, and that it's about.
I don't remember anything from this game at all. Wow. Nothing.
It didn't grasp us, Logan. I mean, I talked. Who the hell was I talking to? I was talking to one of my buddies last night, and we were both like, "Hey, it looks pretty good." He was more excited about it than I was, but I was like,
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I don't like. I can't even picture like what the logo looked like for this game.
See, I can't remember either.
I remember the art
I
style.
can't remember
really cool.
anything about this.
That's what I remember.
Yeah,
I remember
it
that
does,
it looks
does.
like a very pretty game.
I don't remember anything.
Rune Factory. Do you remember Rune Factory?
I remember this one because we're making fun.
We had some pretty good goofs on this.
I don't remember anything. So run me through what you guys are going through with this.
We were just making fun of it because they said Room Factory 5 was in development, like it was like this huge deal, which maybe it is to some people,
It's
but
gotta
it
be
was
to
like
someone.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't know why else they would make a big deal of it, but for us it was like Room Factory 5, you know. It's like,
It was that Rune Factory 4. The graphics didn't look like it.
right.
Like it
oh yeah, that
belonged.
was the game. Now it's like this looks like DOS game or something.
It looked like a 360 game, and that was, I think, the big issue. And like, I'm sure, I mean, Rune Factory has got to have like a big following for it to have its own spot in a direct, but like it was, I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, me either. That didn't stick with me at all. But you know what did stick with me? Starlink Battle for Alice. No, not really. We can play as Slippy now. Yay! I don't care.
And Peppy and Falco.
Yeah, Falco, yeah.
I'm curious as to why Parker put Slippy and Peppy before Falco.
Isn't Falco the bigger one to play?
Yeah.
He's unaware. He's unaware.
Is he listing from least important to most? Is that what it is?
I
Guess. Maybe
you
they announced it in that
know what
order.
it is? It's saving the best for last is what it is.
There it is.
There you go,
Okay.
Parker. There you go.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
I don't want to talk ill of the dead.
Yeah.
Rip.
It's just
But
it's
anyway.
the more Star Fox stuff they put in Starlink, the more I'm just worried about Star Fox as a franchise.
Yeah. Just like make a good Star Fox game. How about that though?
Yeah.
How about that?
But how about why not try that first?
Yeah.
Try that.
Crazy idea. Hear me out. Make a Star Fox game, but like a good one.
Go refer back to any of the Fanatics 4 videos when Star Fox, any of them, and
It's just weird. Like I find it weird that people attach like the idea of an IP, right? And they say like, "Oh, this could never be this," right?
Yeah.
Like, what about Star Fox as a property, like detached from any of the games? What about that dooms it from having any game that's good? You know, like why couldn't Star Fox, like say Star Fox Adventure or whatever, why couldn't that be good? Because there are games like it that are good.
right.
Why couldn't they make their version of a good one of that?
I mean, okay, this is such a weird comparison, just a weird jumping off point, but like using the gummy ships in Kingdom Hearts 3 felt like a better Star Fox game.
I disagree. I disagree
Wow.
with that because I think it feels terrible.
No,
I think it feels terrible.
You've got to play around more with the vehicles. The gummy ships are, if you sit and you play around with it, it's not that bad.
See, Dan,
Okay,
Dan, let's
because
wait,
I only
wait.
have the OG. I have the ship that you start with, and it feels like the worst thing I've ever played.
And I've been in the gummy editor. I've created multiple gummy ships. I've actually went. It's actually. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tweet a picture of a gummy ship I made. Anyway, it's actually pretty scary. I am insulted that you just said that because
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me rephrase. Let me rephrase because you're right. That is insulting. I offended myself somehow in this case.
As a Star Fox fan, I can't let that.
No, yeah. So I feel like the gummy ship in Kingdom Hearts 3 is a good base that Star Fox could start building on. As far as like
I just
open,
don't think Star Fox.
it's
I don't think Star Fox needs to be that anymore.
well, I feel that with Star Fox, the idea of traveling through open space but having it feel less of a void from place to place, I think there's some kernel or some mechanic or something that Star Fox could take from the gummy ship part of Kingdom Hearts and make it into its own thing.
I think that Star Fox as an IP is bigger than what the games used to be. And I think that they should be aiming higher than making it this like $20 eShop like on rail shooter thing. I think that maybe aiming for like a No Man's Sky when it was good sort of situation. I think that would make more sense for a Star Fox game. I think making it like even like a Rogue Squadron sort of situation would make for a better Star Fox game.
Speaking of, Speaking of No Man's Sky, we need to have more games be dedicated to DLC the way they are. That's crazy.
Oh yeah,
that
I mean
game
they had
was
to.
unrecognizable. Yeah, that's true. That is true. But wow though. So it's like I promise this will be the game that you guys expect it to be in 3 years.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's a bold strategy.
That's crazy. That's nuts. He's like, wow.
Yeah, so just like make a good game, like make a good action game that is in space about bounty hunters that just so happen to be the Star Fox team. Do that.
Yeah.
How about that?
If you're right, if you get away from that feeling that it has to be on the rails and really explore and build it, there's so much more that Star Fox could have to offer Nintendo that they're not tapping into.
And there's so much more that Marvel has to offer that they are tapping into with the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order. Now when I first saw this, I was like, wow. I was like, this is going to be a game that I get. Because it looks like, with all the movies going on and, I'm getting hyped about superhero, all this stuff. Spider-Verse movie was good. Of course, we all like Black Panther. Need I go on? Infinity War is great. And then seeing this, I'm like, I just want to get this. I really do. What you guys take on Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3?
Sure, I'll get it. I'm not like super excited for it because like I played the other games and they exist. They're fine.
I played the first one. I was like, it's basically just kind of a hack and slash run. Press a button and you win sort of thing. It's cool with Marvel characters. It's almost like this game is coming 2 years too late.
I feel like this game, maybe it could be something that is worth being hyped for just because this is the first one of this series post Marvel taking games seriously.
Sure.
Like Spider-Man exists and it's like a good game. It's not just like, oh yeah, it's another Spider-Man game. It's fine, I guess. But it's like on the level of like a Batman Arkham. Like it's one of the more notable PlayStation exclusives. And I think in that era, this game has the potential to be really good. I just don't know if it's going to live up to that.
I think it's going to be a really good couch co-op game. It'll be a good one to have around. Because that was definitely the appeal of the other one is like you and your friends being the Avengers and punching stuff.
Right.
That's cool. That's inherently cool.
That is cool.
So
that is cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, I mean, I again, this is another game I need to see more before I go like, it's gonna be like that, huh?
Yep. I already asked Nintendo for it, so we'll see. And there'll be a video about it, and I'll probably ask Will to be in it. So expect that.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be real cool. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. I'll be honest, I don't remember this game at all. I don't remember this.
I'm worried.
This was the Castlevania like reimagining from
Spiritual Successor.
What is his name?
I think is like what it's trying to do.
Yeah.
And
I don't care. No, I'm not.
They released like a smaller bite-sized version that looked like the NES Castlevanias, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And that one was I still need to pick it up. But I've heard that was really good. But then I see game.
Bob streamed it.
Yeah, I watched Bob stream it. That's what it was. But then I look at this one, and I'm getting. I don't want to say I'm getting Mighty Number 9 vibes because it's not that bad.
Yes,
but
I'm getting those vibes.
I'm getting that, and it's concerning because it looked like it had so much promise, and everything looks mostly okay, but. You see your character attack, and you're like, "That's the animation we're going with." It looks stiff. Everything about it looks stiff and mechanical, and that's not a Castlevania game.
Yeah, so I'm, like I'll play it, I guess, but I'm not sold.
Yeah,
And I feel the same way. But the next game, we need to speed this up because we're spending way too much time on the news.
Oh, yeah.
Dragon Quest Builders 2. That game exists. I'll play it. Sure, why not?
All right, move on.
Dead by Daylight. Nah.
I'm glad it's coming to Switch. It's got a very big following on Twitch, and it's good to bring it to the Switch. It is very smart.
Deltarune. It's the game for the memers. Sure.
Not the most exciting.
Grid Autosport. Okay.
It's a racing game.
Hellblade. I echo your sentiment about Dead by Daylight, but for this game, yes, put it on Switch. This is one of those like more revered games, you know, like it's like the art piece sort of situation. The
It's an important one to put on the Switch.
Yes, so put it there. Unravel 2, sure, I guess.
I didn't
The
even
first
play
one
the first
looked
one.
cool.
I didn't play it.
Yeah, the first one looked cool, but I didn't play it, so it's like, you know. Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered.
Frame rate.
Yes.
That frame rate was terrible.
That's just, I mean, either they got a very early build of that, or they screwed the export of the video, or the optimization is very strange, because that game ran well on Wii U.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
But I
wait
do
on
know
that one.
Final Fantasy VII, March 26th, huh?
I'm excited to buy Final Fantasy VII on yet another console.
I've never purchased this game, and I probably never will, for being honest.
I'll get the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Yeah, I might get the remake, maybe.
Plug.
Yeah. So, out of all these...
Parker adds, I think I'm interested in Assassin's Creed 3, Hellblade, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, and Deltarune. The rest seem cool, but there's too many games to get everything.
That's fair.
I mean, says you. I'm getting everything.
I'm sad he won't be able to get any of it. After what happened, you know, Valentine's Day, man, it's a rough day.
Man, he had so much potential, Rip.
So, what were you saying, Logan?
Oh, yeah, I was saying, man, we're getting all of these games. What? Especially the Rune Factory. What?
Rune Factory 5, man?
G-O-T-Y.
Yeah, it's just you wait,
Put it on my
AJ. We're all
calendar.
gonna be surprised.
What if we are, though?
If it does, if we are surprised when that game comes out, I don't. We'll all slap ourselves. I don't know.
I'll slap ourselves.
I'm too old to do those YouTube punishment things like, oh, I'll have a ghost pepper if we do this. If I do something wrong, I'm over it.
That's, you know what?
You know what you can do? Maybe you can get stabbed by a knight. And speaking of knights, Hollow Knight.
You can't create like the segue for the segue.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
That's not how this game works.
Yes. Anyway, Hollow Knight is getting a sequel. For those of you who don't remember, Hollow Knight was the enormously great indie title, platformer, for the Switch. That was, well, for a myriad of different consoles, but...
Yeah, for like everything.
But, we got it on Switch, so... And that's the important one, so,
Yeah. I mean, I never played that game. I need to play the game. Every time I talk about, I never played this game, people are like, you need to play a game. So sure, why not? I guess I'll play it at some point in life. When Smash Brothers, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
I loved this game. I loved Hollow Knight. It was so good.
The biggest question I have, Dan, is how did they fit a whole team inside of Cherry? That's a feat.
Okay. Well, thanks for having me. Thanks. Thank you. This has been real fun. It's been great. But I'm gonna go join Parker.
But no, I need to play it. Sure, why not?
It's a really good Metrovania game. It's difficult as balls, and I don't know. I'm super pumped that it's actually like a full blown sequel, and that it's following a character that I really wanted to have the option to play as. Mm-hmm. So,
isn't that character like what's his name, Sigma and Mega Man X?
The character
not Sigma, like the Zero. when he like effed Sigma. Man, like he comes in and he's like all super powered, and you're like the little guy, and you're like, man, I want to be like him. He's cool. Is that what these characters
I
like?
guess I guess in its, if you were to simplify it as much as possible, it's definitely like, here's the person you should aspire to become and be strong like, and then then as you know, they kind of join forces with you in a small way.
Or she, I guess this is she, right? She's a she. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm super pumped. I'm glad that it's gonna be a full new adventure. AJ, play a Hollow Knight.
Yeah, sure. Wasn't this like supposed to be DLC originally or something like that? And they're like, but no, though. What if we made it a full game and then still gave it to our Kickstarter people for free?
I guess I remember them talking that they were gonna do more DLC, and yeah, no, I think this was supposed to be DLC, and then I guess they expanded into a full nother game.
Right, sure, why not? I guess. Don't release anything that has to do with Smash Brothers, and maybe I'll play it.
Parker goes on to say,
play it before 3.0.
Answering the prompt, are you excited for this game? Yeah, Parker says yes, I am. Hollow Knight is one of my top indie games, and this seems to be improving on the mechanics of the first. If you enjoy tight platforming and combat mechanics and character ability progression, check out Hollow Knight. AJ,
did you play Hollow Knight?
No.
Logan. Logan, play it.
I will. I promise I will.
Let's see. What is
another thing I'll play eventually? Mother 3.
You mean you won't
apparently
play?
Not. Apparently not, actually. No. No, because the localization has been terminated. Rumor. So, Game Informer's Imran Khan?
I don't know how to say his name.
Mentioned on, what?
Reset Era.
Yeah, Reset Era, that. In regards to Mother 3, it was full steam ahead for a while, but upon reevaluation, there were aspects of the game that weren't going to go without controversy. So that basically means there's a whole lot in the game that you know.
How though? I don't understand how, because there's literally a KKK meeting in Earthbound, and that game was fine.
Maybe this is just like so far left that it's just
it's
like
not. I played it.
I don't.
It's not that bad.
I mean, is it just kind of a sign of the times?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's 2019. You know,
I guess
people are like super sensitive.
I don't know. Like, I can't imagine anything they would have done in in that game that would be controversial on the scale of some of the stuff that we've made over here.
Yes, agreed.
I think I mean, the whole rewind back to Modern Warfare 2, the no Russian mission.
Yeah.
That's hugely controversial.
Yeah.
Or Far Cry 5.
Far Cry 5. Like, there's so many. I think it's a shame they feel that way. If this if it's true, because it is a rumor.
Right.
Now this opens up a broader discussion. Do we censor art? Now let's really dig into it and get into it. No, but seriously, I don't think
I don't think this is a censorship thing.
I think that there's even though people don't want to acknowledge that, there is definitely a difference between censorship and localization. I think that it does make a lot of sense to choose wisely what you release for the intended audience in different cultures. Like, I can see why a kid that like looks at Mother 3 and is like, oh yeah, this looks like this is a game for me, and then their mom buys it, and then, you know, like, or again, Earthbound even, and they're like, this, you're having a KKK meeting? Okay, like, you know, like, and they're furious. So I can see them wanting to cut their losses in that regard, but at the same time, it's like, there's plenty of information available in this game. We know that it's not like this like negative thing or anything like that.
I think it's how I think it's how you present it to this market. If you're going to present it to this market as like, as kind of what it initially looks like, where bright colors, kind of cartoony, you know, if you present it like that, then yeah, you're going to have a bunch of controversy. But if you approach it as what it is kind of like this satirical, goofy look at kind of the messed up part of life in a weird way.
Yeah, and it's like the Mother games are kind of like social commentary on America, really.
Yeah, and they're kind of dark in some ways.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the final boss.
Right. Being
the Earth.
Yeah. Like a fetus. It was crazy.
He's like a
yeah. It's I honestly I don't think it's a good excuse.
Same.
I feel that I really hope this is just a rumor, because I think the Western audience can handle it if you present it like it is something that could be controversial.
And it's kind of weird because it's like this coming not far after the news of the Metroid Prime 4 delay, and like the transparency that Nintendo showed in that regard. It's kind of weird that they're not transparent about this. Like, we know that they know that everybody wants Mother 3. They acknowledged that in 2014 with that whole Adult Swim bit or whatever, or the Robot Chicken bit.
Yeah.
So they know we want it. So we're like, come on, like, if at least if you're not going to do it, tell us why.
Yeah, well, I think, with that comparison, it's more of a thing where, like, they're just straight up like, this is just too much for you guys, and you know, it's not a thing of like, where with Metroid it was like, which I like you said, I appreciate the transparency as far as like, this isn't good enough. We're not even gonna, you know, we're starting from scratch. We have no shame, and we're being upfront and honest about it. They're just like, this is just too raw. This is just too raw. You guys aren't ready, and I think that's
Bayonetta. That's fine.
Yeah,
Mother 3.
I don't know what this could have in it that, like, what this could contain. That's, you know.
I think it's
nothing. It's nothing.
It's just the same thing of why they didn't port it over in the first place, right? Or why they did a limited release of Earthbound, is that they just won't get it, and we're kind of past that. Like, with the internet connecting everyone, we're on a more global scale than like cultures are starting to mix a bit more. I'm just trying to say, Nintendo, we can handle it.
There are thousands of people that play this game whether you want them to or not. Yeah. At least monetize it.
Yeah, at least do yourself a favor, make some money.
Yes.
All right. And we can all make some money.
Parker says, I think it's more likely that Nintendo will just try to reboot the Mother franchise with some of the characters from the games at this point. They seem to know some people care about the games, but they also may not think it's worth it.
And that's why he's dead.
I blame Parker. It's his fault. Sony said some stuff. They said never underestimate Nintendo. Yeah, sure. Why not? Don't do it. Parker says, wait, no, I skipped. Parker didn't say anything about this. So neither should we. Moving on.
No.
There's a demo of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee on the eShop, and you should play it. That's it. Parker adds, cool. Smart people would do the wise thing and play this game. I agree.
There you go.
Cool.
Smart people would also move on. Nintendo VR? Is that going to happen? Sounds like it. Before the Switch came out, the rumor was that it was supposed to come out in holiday, but they delayed it because they wanted to get the VR stuff working. That rumor of VR is resurfacing again after it's happened a couple of times where it's like different patents and stuff like that happened. Now it sounds like Nintendo World Report thinks that this is going to happen. Emily Rogers thinks that this is going to happen, and then they're going to make some type of announcement about it this year.
I just don't care about VR.
I don't either.
So regardless of who it's from, I just don't care.
Yeah, I
Are you interested in VR, Dan?
I mean, yeah, I think there's a lot of cool stuff with VR. I think it's still it's so new still that it's hard to find like standout titles. But after playing Moss, like Moss and Beat Saber are ones that bring me in and go like, if I could take Beat Saber on the go effectively and easily with my Switch, that would be incredible. So
yeah,
I'm down for it. I just it's just this stuff's really expensive and it's not affordable yet.
I just don't understand what the missing link is, because it's like Beat Saber, I don't think it's fun because of VR. Like, I think that game is just fun because it like, really the motion controls, if anything, and that already exists.
Yeah,
it's just
but it's something,
the screen is just closer to your face.
No, but the thing is that Beat Saber wouldn't work as just a motion control game because you need depth perception. And you get better depth perception when it's in VR. Otherwise, you're swinging the things, and you're most likely going to be missing half the time. With like the VR, it feels better to play, and it's more accurate.
Right.
So
that's fair.
That's the only thing. I think VR will be the way that we consume a lot of games in the future. It's still not there, and it has to get over the novelty.
Yeah, it's
stigma.
Right. It's too much. It's in its infancy right now, and exactly like just like you said.
think that it doesn't even necessarily need to get over novelty. It just is too expensive to bank on novelty.
Yeah.
I think that's something that maybe Nintendo could remedy.
Well, yeah,
because if it is just this thing of like, hey, the Switch is already capable of doing it, just slot it into this shell or whatever, and there you go, it's VR, and somehow it's really good. You already have the controllers, they're your Joy-Con, there you go.
Yeah.
And you're set. Then, hey, you got $300 and that's a whole setup. Mm-hmm. It's not even a thing of like, use your phone or use your PlayStation 4. It's like, no, you have this thing, $300 and you're good. That's everything you need.
The thing is that the PlayStation even needs an external processor to make up the power. I think even on the PS4 Pro. So that Nintendo peripheral is gonna need a little bit more power behind it too. And that's the problem. That'll be the problem.
I think it really just depends on how they're going about doing it, because a big reason why the PlayStation needs additional processing power is because the PlayStation isn't the screen that you're looking at.
Right.
The Switch is literally already a screen. So it's providing you power to that.
Sure.
Where it's like, maybe it's not a thing that's connected to both your TV and the headset. It's just the headset.
Right.
But
so it's not power in two
having
different things.
played one of the first builds of the Oculus back when it was really low res, that extra resolution makes the difference between 5 minutes in there and then vomiting for about 20 versus having an enjoyable experience in VR. That's going to be the biggest hurdle they have to cross, and if that's already somehow built into the Switch, then I'll shut my face and I'll just get it.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, because Nintendo has strange ways of solving problems that people deem impossible from the door.
Yes.
So I don't know, maybe they figured it out.
Yeah. We'll see.
I'm not super invested either way, because sure, it exists, but I'm not going to pay an exorbitant amount of money to do this.
What game would you want to play most from their VR? If it was like, if they were the ones to solve a lot of the problems that we see facing VR right now currently?
Captain Toad.
I think. Oh yeah, you made a video.
I made a video about that very topic and how Captain Toad would be phenomenal in VR.
Huh.
Check it out. Check out the video.
That one had Bob in it.
Yep, Bob is also in it. Metroid Prime 4. That's why they delayed it.
Yep, there you go.
They're putting VR in the game.
All right.
I don't know. Again, like VR, it's neat, I guess, but it's not really something that I'm chomping at the bit for. I'm not like, man, if this Nintendo game only had VR, I would like it so much more.
Yeah. Parker says none because this is breaking news and he abandoned us. Boo, Parker.
I said that. I put that in the notes.
You wrote that on his tombstone. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're going to talk about Dan's video. Dan made a video
about the worst,
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
Switch game ever.
I had a video out this week, but it's really just it's my comment show. And it's not really worth talking about. Well, I mean, it is, but you get the point.
Yeah, it's just like you need outside context for that.
Yes, exactly. And in order to understand that, I played Vroom in the Night Sky.
And how great of a game was that?
That was a terrible experience. That was just here's the thing. I think it is the best video I've done to date.
I've never seen a game get a 17 on Metacritic. That's crazy.
It's crazy. It's the game was awful. I really liked how the video turned out, but I mentioned this a bit in both videos. There's just a point where I was playing that game and I became numb. I tuned out and I'm like, at this point in time, I'm playing out of spite. I don't care. I'm completing this game, and then I'm deleting it promptly off my Switch.
You got a taste of what Gerard must go through.
Oh yeah,
from the completionist.
Like when he has to complete, when he completed Superman 64, it's like I feel it now. I feel that pain.
Rip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't do that. I commend you both.
Yeah. Wow.
So I mean, it was a really fun video to make. It's strange because covering bad games makes for some really interesting content. In the fact that it lends itself to better jokes than if I were to play a good game, because the good game all I want to do there is praise and, I'll make a joke every now and then. Bad games is like, it's like
the game itself is a joke.
Yeah, it's the whole thing's a joke. So it's much more entertaining to do, and it's kind of...
Yeah, I struggle with that. Just because, like, I don't know. I already get bummed out when it's like I talk about a game that I don't like, even if it's like, something like RPGs, and then people are like, this game is really good and blah blah, and it's like, yeah, I'm not saying that you shouldn't like it. I'm just telling you I don't. So like when something like the Sonic Forces video that I did, when I'm like, I don't think this game's gonna be good, and then everybody's like, oh, you shouldn't crap on it, blah blah. And then the game comes out and it's terrible. I could make a video and like make a bit of it and stuff like that, but that's just not for me. I don't know. It's weird. It's this weird balancing act.
Yeah, I mean, it's also somewhat of a dangerous thing when you cover these kind of bad games. I learned this when I did the FNAF fan game stuff.
Oh yes.
One, sorting through that is, I can't tell you how many of those games I played and then immediately hit escape with not making the video. This is not worth talking about. It is that bad. Right. Or it's just a nothing game where it's like, it's okay. I don't have anything to add. But I also learned, like, you got to be careful when you're tackling those things, because the developer is probably going to see it at some point in time. And you have to be ready. You got to decide whether it's going to be a game that you're ready to throw down the gloves and go, fisticuffs with the developer to be like, no, your game's awful and you should be embarrassed. Or if it's a game that you can be like, this isn't worth fighting. I see the potential of this game and I know they tried, but it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And
that's like another part of that, and especially since like we have like this relationship with Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's kind of weird to be like, that's why like I didn't talk about Travis Strikes Again at length. I streamed it, but it's just like, you know, where it's like, I don't want to spend a long time crapping on somebody's game.
Yeah, no, and
especially like Suda retweeted the fact that I was streaming Travis Strikes Again, and I was playing it.
Oh.
I was playing Travis Strikes Again, and it got retweeted from their Twitter, Grasshopper Manufacturer or whatever. Yes, I was like, man, you know, like that's rough.
It's tricky. But here's the thing: with Room in the Night Sky, I'm confident. I'm ready to go. I think it's rushed.
I mean, they got to know that their game's bad. It's on that level of like, even they have to know.
Yeah, but so they have to know. But at the same time, the whole Jimquisition thing a while back with that one Steam developer. I don't know if you remember about that. Like, Jimquisition, it's Jimquisition, right? I'm right. I think.
Yeah.
He covered a game. It was so bad, and he went, no, this is bad. And then The developer.
That might have been Total Biscuit, but I could see that being either one of them.
No, I'm pretty sure it was Jimquisition. I'm pretty sure. I just wasn't sure that was the right name. But the developer started doing copyright strikes and like going after him. So you never know. But like, at some point in time, you got to call him like you sees him.
Yeah. I mean, you always got to do that.
Yeah.
But it's like, for us, it's just a thing of like, and even for him, it's like a deliberate choice to crap on something. And it's like, I don't know. Like, you could choose between, and for you, it's like, you didn't do it in this like negative way, you know? Like, it wasn't like you're terrible and you're stupid and I hate you and blah, blah. But it like gets to be like real toxic, real easy when certain creators do that, you know, like the Angry Joes of the world, where it's like, I'm just going to crap on this game and tell people that this company is awful and you should never, like, you know, it's like you just going a bit too far with it. You have to present a
good argument, or what's the point? And the one thing I could say about Room in the Night Sky is their design team's pretty good. I'm willing to give them that because the logo's solid, the menu's pretty good, like the presentation of it is pretty solid. It's just, once you peel back that layer and get into what the actual game is, you go, oh, I spent how much on this game?
How much was it?
I think it was 10.
Oh, okay.
But still, that hurt. That hurt real bad.
That you could get a okay sandwich for $10.
That's a good lunch. That's a good lunch I don't get now. I mean, I can't leave my apartment right now, but that could have been a good lunch.
Yeah, rip that.
Yep,
that lunch. Could have got some good fries, maybe a drink.
God, I'm hungry. Stop.
But you said that you might give us some info on your next video. What are you doing?
Okay, I don't know if it's gonna be this next week's video or if it's going to be in the future, or if it might get scrapped altogether because I can't figure out how to do it. But in light of everything that's been happening on the platform, from algorithm shifts to, you know, demonetization, and then even now so with Defy and that complete shit show.
Yeah, right.
I think it's a good time for me to kind of offer a bit of my perspective on all this, because I have now worked for 2 channels with over 10 million subscribers. And it's, you know, it's not like being a creator. It's my perspective is as a creator and an employee. And when I started, it felt like such a bright future. It felt like a brand new frontier, and charging into this, I'm like, I'm going to be able to do real big things without having to deal with 50% of the BS that is the entertainment industry. Like, I'm not going to have to go, you know, live off of ramen noodles for a week so I can go edit some dude's film that might get into a festival.
Right.
And then it just shifts. It's just, something happened, and then it was just like all of it just kind of abruptly stopped.
Yeah, it's definitely like a unique situation because it's simultaneously a sure thing and also not.
Yeah, and
you know, especially in that situation where you're like at a Game Theory or at a Fine Bros entertainment sort of situation, where it's like they're getting all these views and, you know, like their revenue seems good, and you know, they get sponsors and stuff like that, but the rug can be pulled from under them even very quickly.
Yeah. And I mean, this whole, you know, I can't go, I want to go into more detail, but I literally can't for legal reasons for sure, before I get things cleared. So
right.
If I can get all of the legal, you know, I can word this right and everything, that's the plan for this week's video. We'll see. I've been so frantically trying to keep everything going with the power going out and hospital visits and doctors not doing their job. But yeah, there's a lot of personal stuff, so I'm hoping I can piece this together.
And that, I mean, that's another end of it that like a lot of people don't get to see and don't think about. when they hear Matt Pat talk about that, right? Yeah. And you see it, and you're like, but you're Matt Pat though. Like, look at your house, you know. But you don't hear about like how you're affected by that. And like, I heard about like all the stuff that you're going through and like what's happening with Alyssa and your power going out every 3 seconds. Yeah. But most people don't know that. So I think that that's a good perspective to make note.
Yeah. And I need to preface this just so people don't get like all excited and like, I'm going to get some freaking great inside juicy stuff. I'm not gonna talk about that. I mean, I love my job and I want to keep it.
Right. It's definitely not a negative thing. No, I don't mean it in that way.
No, and
I just mean that like you're gonna be able to shed some light on the fact that this is more than just what you see. It's not just, and not in that like behind the scenes sort of situation, stuff that's known in public, the fact that you work for Game Theory, but they, like the people that watch Game Theory aren't always actively thinking like, oh, there's editors that are employed by this.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that seeing somebody talk about that, like seeing a person like making it known that this is my job and Defy's messing with it. Not a thing of like, here's the behind the scenes workings of Game Theory and how blah, like not in that way.
This thing with Defy, that's like another editor. Like that's paying for another editor. That's paying for another like production costs for another big thing that we could be doing. That could have been a raise for me. And that's just gone. Or I mean, it's not for sure yet. You know, we're still fighting that battle. Which, if you haven't watched Matt's video, go watch it, share it, do that whole thing. Like losing this battle is a big deal to how it affects everyone from Matt Pat down.
Right.
And you know, it's not just the creators that are losing. You know, we're all this industry's losing. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah. And it definitely needs to be more known. And people don't understand that because we don't have the amount of like, you know, these documentaries and stuff like that we have on the film industry proper, you know, like how movies are understood and what happens when a production in that realm falls apart. People understand like, oh shoot, like somebody lost their job, blah, blah. Like they get that. But with YouTube, it's like, you know, like you're just sitting in your room with a camera pointing at you, you know, like, and that's all it is, and that's all it ever will be, you know. It's like, no, like these are serious productions.
No, yeah, and that's why I want to shine the lights on. Like, I'm like a God, what is it? Like a 7-year veteran of this industry, and I can't get into I can't get into that. But the point is that there's an imbalance. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's the industry's fault, nothing of any creator that's hiring staff.
Right. Exactly.
So,
and I mean, that's something I was talking to Bob about, where it's like, imagine being somebody that's like newer and you're just at this, because for us, right, like we look at like Fanatics Forum being like, man, like can't wait to be able to hire X people, you know? That's a big part of it. It's not even this thing of like, I want to be rich and famous and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, I want to give people, because I know a lot of people that make cool stuff and I want to enable them to do that and be paid for it. That's rough when it's like you're at that point and you're not able to because of something that is not in your control.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to. I gotta save some stuff for the video, and I don't want. I don't. We could literally do an entire podcast on this. So I'll just end it there. It's something I'm working on, but if it's gonna be breaking any NDAs or I'm gonna cross any lines, I don't want to do dirty to Matt Pat. I think he's the most genuine person I've ever met in the YouTube industry. So I'm not gonna do him dirty.
Right. Completely understandable. Mm-hmm. I get it. Everybody subscribe to Game Theory if you're not already. If you're not already, what's wrong with you? Have issues, man. Crazy.
Yeah.
Just like these game developers that aren't putting their games on Switch.
See,
I made a video about that.
Logan, that was a good segue.
Listen. Go back in the earlier episodes. Go look at the catalog of brilliant golden segues. I taught him everything he knows.
I guess so.
But yeah, great video.
Yeah,
thank you.
I wanted to write my notes. My notes I usually take when I'm getting ready to delve into what I thought about your video for the week. But no, I definitely agree on, like, as far as when you're just like, oh yeah, there's money to be made here on Switch, so what's the holdup? What are you doing? You know, especially when I like when you brought up, oh yeah, there was no delay when it came to, you know, taking these games from past generations to put them on these next generation consoles, and it's just not fair that the Switch is being overlooked in that regard either. I just don't like it. Don't approve at all.
It's confusing, if anything. It's been one of the most successful platforms to come out in recent history, and it's kind of like you don't want this thing that prints money for you. I'm confused.
Yeah, because it's like, even with Wii, right? Like, developers were falling all over themselves to make games for Wii, just off the back of its success. Yeah. Like, the Wii was a real hindrance. Like, there's a huge gap between a standard definition console and a high definition console. That's a major gap. Yeah. But we're talking about, if we put it in like basic terms of like flops, right? Like, we're talking within 20-30% power in comparison. Like the gap between like hard like flops between the PlayStation 3 and the Wii is like 10 times more than the gap between the Switch and the PlayStation 4. Yeah. Really, there's two major things that is holding everything back. On the super like high level like stuff that doesn't really matter, it's the like extra visual flourish. It's not a situation of like, we literally, like, you couldn't move in this game if we put it on Switch. It's, oh no, we couldn't put like the pretty particle effects and the ambient occlusion and the like the reflections in the water, and we couldn't make our ripples as highly detailed and stuff. Like, it's dumb stuff like that that's not integral to the experience of the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like, oh, it's not like this is going to explode trying to play this. You know, it's not that at all.
And I think there's definitely like a segment of the gaming audience that cares about that, and they, for whatever reason, forgot the fact that they spent 7 years playing games that look like games that are on Switch in your hand, and they look at Switch and they're like, this looks awful. And it's like, does it? Because you were just playing this on your high definition TV last generation. But you're playing it in your hand now.
I look at a game like Super Mario Galaxy and how good that looked on the Wii. That was a really good game considering how, like, what the hardware was capable of and everything. I'm like, if they could do Super Mario Galaxy, you could put it in one of your games on Switch with some slight tweaks to lower the graphic fidelity of it. And no one would care.
And it's like, it's honestly, to me, it reads like just effective marketing, where it's like a developer, or more likely a publisher, is going to say like, this game is just flat out not possible. And it's like, nah, that's not true. It just will cost you more money than you're willing to spend. To like, because they could literally, like, they could do what they did in the second generation and have a team like not porting, but like co-developing a version of a game on Switch. Like, they could do that. Yeah. But it would just cost them more money than they want to spend on it.
Yeah. I mean, that, to a degree, that is an important thing to take into account of, especially if you're running a business and trying to, impress investors and keeping your company afloat. There is something of that factor that needs to be taken into consideration. However,
but I think that if you like look at Rabbids, the Mario plus Rabbids, right? Like, if that came to every other platform somehow, they still would have made the same money that they made just porting the game to, just making the game for Switch alone. Yeah. So it's not, it wouldn't be a thing of impressing investors, because what you're doing here on the Switch is adding another user base to your game. It's not the Wii anymore. It's not a thing of like, well, we don't know if people are going to buy this. No, people want to buy it. They just don't want to buy a crappy version of what you're going to do. So put in the work and you'll make the money.
Yeah, the risk for putting one of your games on the Switch is so minimal now. It's so minimal. In the way that, like, some people are gonna avoid buying other ports of the game to wait for the Switch version because they know with the Switch version, if the TV gets taken over by family, significant other, you know, something else, at least I can keep playing. I just have to pick it up.
And if you're in Japan, like, I think that I wouldn't be surprised if the only reason that Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't breach 1 million units in its first week and probably won't ever in Japan is because it's not on Switch.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the Switch version of Kingdom Hearts 3, whenever it comes out, sells 1 million units on Switch in the first week.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be shocked at all. So I was like, just do it. You know, if your game has any, first of all, if your game has any Japanese audience at all and your game's not on Switch, you're stupid. That's even completely detached from what I think about the situation. But if your bottom line has anything to do with Japan and you're not on Switch, that's just a huge missed opportunity on the publisher's part.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like, even if like, it's to the point where if you're a Final Fantasy, right, where most of your sales are coming from that region, it's to that point where you are like, it's worth hindering the other versions of the game just to be even assuming that that's how the game development works, which it's not. If making this game for Switch was going to affect the performance of the other games, it's worth it because it's going to sell best on Switch.
Yeah, it will.
But yeah, we got some comments. Logan, you want to read the comments for this? I tried to pull mostly comments from people that are disagreeing with me because I don't want a whole thing of like, yeah, you're right, you know?
Yeah, right. Nicholas P goes on to say, Nintendo continues to utilize underwhelming hardware in the service of other innovations, like motion controls or a completely portable primary gaming console. Panic button does great work, but the result is often not pretty. I wish Wolfenstein 2 just looked like it had some post-processing effects dropped because that game is rough looking on the Switch. The hardware bottleneck is a real problem, and it can't just be hand-waved away. So much of a port's viability is going to come down to the optimization of the engine it's running on, and sometimes it just isn't worth the effort to publishers to squeeze blood from a stone. When a PC port looks like garbage on a potato build, that's the user. They bought or built the PC that struggles with high-end gaming that they get to live with the result, or homebrew a janky solution. Console gaming is different. When a publisher releases a port to a console platform, they're putting their stamp of quality on that, the way the game looks and how smoothly it runs on that specific hardware configuration.
Hard disagree. Because when you buy a Switch, you have that understanding that it's not a PlayStation 4 Pro or Xbox One X. No?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Like, did you buy your Switch thinking that you're going to get a game that looks like Uncharted 4?
No.
Right.
Consumers aren't stupid, and they know that buying a Switch is effectively buying a low-end PC. But I'm sure that most people that have a Switch would like the option to play that game on the platform that they want to play it on, because not everybody is buying a game just for its looks. Like, I would never, ever have even thought about playing Wolfenstein 2 if it didn't come to Switch. But since it did, I gave it a try, because that's the platform that I want to play my games on.
Yeah, I mean...
And I know I'm not alone in that.
This is an argument from someone that cares about graphics, and I think a lot of what he's saying is a very good, fair point. But there also are you got to realize there's a whole nother set of audience that's like that one. The thing that bothers me is like building a potato build of a computer. Computers are not cheap. High-end gaming PCs are very expensive.
Right.
Yeah, like this PC that I made that I use for editing and I use for gaming is like $2,000. Like, I had to drop a pretty penny to do that.
Right.
And it would be unfair for me to say, well, I should be able to play my games if they only look like this, and everyone else, that's, it's their fault for not having $2,000.
Yeah, exactly.
There are people that don't care and they just want to play the game.
Exactly. And that's me. I feel like, honestly, just looking at statistics and sales, more times than not, the console that performs the worst is the one that usually sells the best. Because people don't care that much. They're like, do I want to save money on this? Do I want to have the better games? Do I want to blah, blah? And then graphics is like, okay, whatever, that's cool too, I guess. Right? Like, even PlayStation 4 being the most powerful thing, it was also the cheapest thing.
Yeah.
Compared to the Xbox One. That's why people bought it. It was because ultimately it had a better value. It's not because, oh man, look at those particle effects. Look at that. Oh man, that runs so smooth. It's a solid locked 60 frames per second. Most people can't tell the difference between 30 frames per second and 60.
Yeah.
They're just playing the game. And as long as it's not dropping from 60 to 12, you'll be fine. Most people aren't looking at Doom on Switch and saying, oh man, this looks like it's standard resolution. You know, like, they're not thinking like that. They're just playing the game.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in handheld mode.
Yeah, and that's not the discount graphics at all. I mean, graphics are, an important, they're an important part, but yeah.
I think, for me, it is discounting graphics because a comment like this says that they are the reason why you would buy your game. It's because of what the game looks like. I think graphics are additive, but I don't know anybody that is actively like admiring the graphics of a game. I feel like graphics matter in few distinct points. It's like, okay, this particularly beautiful part of this game, you'll notice it and you'll say, man, these graphics are great. But most of the time, you're just focused on what the game is.
It's important. It's important when it comes down to aesthetics versus graphics. Because aesthetically, if a game could be ported to the Switch and the aesthetics remain the same, then to this guy's argument, then that's good. But if the aesthetics are too caught up in the graphics, that would be one of the few reasons where I go like, okay, maybe they shouldn't give it a shot. But those kind of types of games are really, really, really hard to find these days.
Yeah, I would say that the only developer that makes games like that is Cyberpunk. I would say I wouldn't play, not Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk 2077. I probably wouldn't play that on Switch. I mean, I probably would play it on Switch, but I probably wouldn't think oh man, that's the first place I want to play that because that's their thing. Like, that's what they're going for.
And that, again, that's aesthetic versus graphics, right?
Yeah. And even there, it's not something that, like, I feel like at a certain point, high definition, I would say at this point, being even 720p, I would say. Once you hit that point, it's diminishing returns. It's kind of like that bell curve that like Casey Neistat talks a lot about with the cameras, where it's like the difference between like a $100 camera and a $1,000 camera is significantly bigger than the difference between a $1,000 camera and a $20,000 camera.
Yes.
Where it's like you'll get like little bells and whistles and like certain things with like how your lenses work and like what microphones you can plug in and et cetera, but it's not a huge difference in image quality. I feel like that is where we're at now with high definition. It's like you can get a game in 4K and it'll be crisper or whatever, but it's not going to be night and day like standard definition to high definition is. Yeah. And I feel like that's the reason why, for the most part, as long as you pay any level of attention to how you optimize your game to make it look good and you're not just trying to fit a square into a circle, then you'll be fine. I think that they could have optimized something like Wolfenstein to look real good. But the fact that they have a certain amount of time to port this game because they want to have it released within a window of time from when it was released everywhere else, you can only do but so much.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But next comment.
All right. Shinobi, what? Oh yeah, Shinobi Brian, press start. Says no, it isn't. Can we stop begging publishers and developers to accommodate the underpowered Switch? You idiot.
Refer to the last. Refer to the last thing.
Yeah. All right. Chris Ragan says 1. The reason gamers don't come over.
He said the number one.
Okay.
Number one reason.
Number one reason gamers don't come over, storage media. The cost of making games for it and the limitations on size available are real. The garbage online service is a close second. Download speeds are atrocious. Connectivity is horrible, especially for Smash and Mario Kart and Splatoon. Why would any company want to deal with those headaches?
That sounds like someone that needs better internet.
Yeah, seriously, right? That sounds like a you problem.
I mean, to be fair, I think that these are more sound points than the last one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because storage media, and I said that in the video, it definitely is a problem because it's way too expensive. It's not a thing of like, oh, it's not possible on Switch. It just costs too much. And for sure, like, yeah, Nintendo should be cutting those developers a deal or doing something to lower the cost of the storage media. That is definitely an issue. The online thing, yeah, that's probably your internet. To be fair, the Switch does gimp your internet, but so does the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Because, again, I have gigabit speeds, but I only get like 40 down on my Switch. 40. So it's like, yeah, that's bad, but it's not like
it's
for playing games. It doesn't matter.
If you're
40
comparing like
megabytes per
PC
second.
speeds to console speeds, then you're always going to have that problem.
Right.
Like my hardwired
Right.
PC is always going to download, like get the max potential out of my router because it's hardwired and it's a computer. Anything
Yes.
Wi-Fi is going to be gimped by what type of router you have and what kind of wireless thing is in the system.
I mean, to be fair, my Xbox gets a good amount of that speed. My Xbox gets like 200 down.
Well, my Xbox just decides not to function.
Yeah, my PlayStation probably gets the worst speeds, honestly. My Switch, second worst. And then the Xbox is like, it's fine. And then obviously computer and phone are like better. And they're both, neither one of them are hardwired, but they still get a good amount of the potential of my internet. But yeah, I mean, they definitely lowballed their investment on their Wi-Fi card. That's true. But I don't think that you need, you don't need crazy speeds. I don't need gigabit speeds on my Switch. It's not necessary.
No, the the storage is the biggest issue.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I would say that's the only excusable issue at this point because your profits are cut significant. Like if you can buy, and this is lowballing how much the Switch carts cost. If you could buy a Blu-ray disc, 64 gigabyte Blu-ray disc for $2, it will cost $30 on Switch, and that's lowballing it for a 64 gigabyte cart. They are very expensive. So I can understand them not wanting to invest in that. There's an argument for, yeah, but you can just make it download only. But again, you're undercutting retailers and that sucks. And also then you got to pass the cost of storage on to the consumer and then they got to buy 400 gigabyte SD cards, yada, yada, yada. Yes, that's true. The graphics thing, I'm not trying to hear that. The storage, I agree.
Yeah. And then also to the storage thing is like, again, this would be an issue if, I mean, as far as like making physical carts and that sort of stuff, if this wasn't one of the best-selling consoles of recent history.
Yes,
you're more likely to make your money back selling on the Switch than you are on any other console right now.
All right,
because it's the new hot thing.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that I don't think it makes as much sense to prioritize something like Xbox One, for instance. The only thing that I think guarantees Xbox so many games is that it's so close in power and architecture and like just process as like so close to the PlayStation 4 that they're like, sure, yeah, throw that one on there too.
Yeah.
And in that way, because I know a lot of people are going to say like, oh yeah, but Nintendo just needs to make a more powerful console. It's like, nah, that's kind of just. They could do that, and that would enable developers to, I don't want to say be lazy, but it would give them less work on their plate, you know, which that's fine, I guess. But I don't think Nintendo needs to do that. I don't think the Switch would be where it's at as far as success if it was just the Me Too console 2.0. Like, oh, you want to just be Xbox One and PlayStation 4? Like, you know, like you just want to be a mirror image of what I'm doing? Here's another mirror, you know? Like, I don't think we need that.
Yeah.
Right. But we do need to get to this last comment. Alejandro Simeon? I think that's actually the name.
You probably butchered it.
Yeah,
but it's
probably,
fine.
most likely. I spend so much time wishing the games on my Steam wish list were on Switch because I would play the hell out of them. Also, this is weird and not at all relevant, but Steam games are like 1/4 the price that their Switch versions for the country I live in. No idea why, but Steam just doesn't convert dollars to my country's currency accurately. So it's much cheaper for me to buy games on there than on the Nintendo eShop, which does convert dollars correctly and even taxes me. If Stardew Valley is $15 plus tax on Switch, I can get it for like $4 to $5 on Steam, no tax. That's not really Nintendo's fault as much as it is Steam's very strange loss of money. I don't think it's helping developers either. Going back to wanting more games on Switch, honestly, my library on this console is very small, since I already have many indie eShop games on my PC. The indie games I would definitely buy on Switch are not here. I'm waiting for Aberdeen, for example, and trying so hard to resist getting it on PC. Anyways, long comment, low. I'll cut it here.
I just found this interesting. The price difference.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
And I also found it interesting, like, his perspective on it. Like, he didn't sound like he was mad. You know, like, he wasn't like, the Switch is overpriced and blah, blah. He was just like, nah, like, Steam's getting over it. I'm fine with it. But, like, you know, I found that interesting, too. I want to see more comments like that. Because I know we have viewers from, like, places that are different from the U.S., and I don't really see comments like that that often.
No, this is
that was really unique.
It's fascinating. Just to...
Yeah, it is. Because it gives you a peek into different, like, you know, just seeing how things are, as far as like the currency and the exchange rate. It's like, oh, that's neat. That's neat.
Right.
Yeah.
Something that's significantly less neat.
Oh man. That was.
It's like, nah, I'm joking. But I'm not the RPG guy, so I'm like, whatever. Sure, why not? Bring it there. Fine.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Right. Right.
Yeah, just going down the rabbit hole thought as far as just like, oh, all these Final Fantasy games look cool. Cloud was in Smash. Let's dig further than that. Will we be getting? And Kingdom Hearts 3's out. So now, you know, we focus all this time on the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and will the Switch be getting that? Dan, thoughts?
Yeah.
I mean, it's in a weird way, this ties a little bit to AJ's video.
Yeah, it does. It does. Definitely.
With this idea of, like, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the fact that I know, like, Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy, the particle effects are actually kind of like a big part of the aesthetic that goes into it. But at the same time, like, I don't know, with Cloud's inclusion in Smash, it doesn't seem like... It's weird to say that just having a character in a game makes it less complicated to bring it onto the Switch, but in a weird way it does, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
and I think they could definitely do a lot of the stuff that, like, the Switch is capable of doing enough of what that technology is that makes the game look like that game, that it would be believable there. It just wouldn't be as intense.
Yeah.
You know, like, and like how they are already with certain, like, if you look at like Digital Foundry videos where it's like they zoom in and they're like, oh, the shadow is low resolution here. But when you're playing the game, you don't think to yourself, man, that's a low resolution shadow. You know, like, so I think that would probably be what we could expect from it, where it's like we'll see all the effects that make the game look like what it is.
Right.
And I honestly think it's not a thing of like, why not? It's like, why, like, you would, again, going back to what I was saying about the Japan thing, you would be stupid not to put this game on Switch.
Yeah.
It would be so dumb because it's going to sell so much better on Switch than it would on PlayStation in Japan.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason that when, say, Final Fantasy VII Remake is announced for Switch and they're being released roughly at the same time, the only reason I would probably put it on my PS4 or PS5 probably at that point would just because Final Fantasy VII was originally on the PlayStation, and there's a weird nostalgic factor of being able to play it on the same platform,
like the same
future.
controller layout and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I've definitely heard that with like stuff like Kingdom Hearts. Even people that have like Xbox One X's are like, nah, I'm playing it on my PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it's a weird like loyalty you have to the game and to the brand because of that particular moment in time.
Yeah, man, Sega really screwed people's brains up with that console war crap.
Yep.
Still have those effects.
So,
all right,
absolutely, I think it should be on there.
Okay, so in my video, I asked a few questions. One of which was, when is it too late for you? Like, when do you lose interest as far as games coming to Switch? Because after, you know, there have been instances where games are put on the other consoles, and the Switch is late to the party for a few titles, a number of titles actually. We see that a lot. And I asked, like, okay, when? So is there such a thing as too late?
Right.
Patrick, freaking Jacob. I'm sorry, messed your name all the way up. Says, I never want to wait for a game to come to Switch. Even if I do wait to buy the game for some reason, the PS4 version will probably be a third of the price by then. For instance, I bought Doom on PS4 recently for $20 instead of the full price version on Switch. I mean, I mean,
to answer your question from my perspective, you got a month, tops. Month is pushing it. But you laugh, but like seriously, the way that we consume games now is binge. Like
you're right, absolutely.
When Spider-Man came out, people were done with that game within like a week and a half.
Yeah,
I was done by the weekend.
Absolutely.
We binged the games, and that was one of the big issues when Destiny came out, is that they weren't expecting the binge. The binge happened, and that's when we suddenly realized, wow, Destiny does not have a whole lot of content right out of box. And so, if you're waiting a month to take your game and put it on the Switch, it's too late.
Yeah,
I think it largely depends on the game,
Yeah.
and how much they add to it after the fact. Like, I think Dragon Quest 11 is going to do really well on Switch.
That's fair.
Just because, I mean, a lot of people are like, nah, wait, and also because they're adding so much more content to it, and also it's going to come out in Japan and it's going to be on Switch, and people are going to buy that game for that reason. For me, that usually doesn't happen. Like, I usually don't see a lot of games where it's like, ooh, I want to play that, but I'll wait for it to be on Switch. It's usually a game comes out on another platform, and I'm probably not interested in it anyway. And then it comes to Switch, and it's like, sure, I'll try it. Yeah. Like I was saying about Wolfenstein, where it's like, I didn't care about that game, but it came to Switch, and I'm like, sure, why not?
Right. So it's not like you're actively waiting for, like, I want to play this game, and it's like I'm not waiting at all, and then. Yeah,
right. Like, if I'm actively waiting for something, like Dragon Ball FighterZ, I knew it was going to come to Switch eventually. We were talking about it all the time, but I wanted to play it, so I bought it several times.
Yeah.
And then I bought it again on Switch.
I will say that if you're going to miss that first initial month, like window, and you still you as a company, you're like, we still got to put this on the Switch. We're we messed up or whatever reason we didn't get it out on time. Releasing it like Dragon Quest, this definitive edition where it adds in everything into one neat package, and then gives it to you, would be the only other way to deliver it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I can't remember. There was a game that came out last year. It had been on PS4 or something, and as it was talking about releasing new DLC, and at the same time they announced we're having a Switch version that also has all the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So you're buying the full game and you're getting the DLC and you get it on the go, and it's kind of like it works,
right?
In that perspective. But if you're releasing and you're planning to release on Switch, you got a month.
Yeah, sounds right. Jordan DeBest says, for me personally, I play RPGs casually and occasionally. However, it'll be more likely for me to buy it on Switch than anything else. However, I honestly don't care about ports at all, unless it's something really cool. I like indie ports, and they're fine, and classic games getting ports is cool too. But comes a time and point where I honestly don't want to play old game ports. I think maybe 6 months is a reasonable time. I think a year is a little bit too much. I'm also going to put on my tinfoil hat and say some games don't come to Switch right away in fear it might nuke the sales of the other platforms. The Switch is honestly a weird phenomenon where niche gaming is honestly becoming relatively big, just like the indie scene. The Switch fan base is pretty different compared to the other platforms.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think I noticed this, us being like so focused on Nintendo and like a lot of our viewership being Nintendo fans, they have like I don't understand the idea of like, oh, I don't want to play this game because it came out 6 months ago and it's old.
Right.
Like, I don't get it in that way. I get, like, Dan saying that because a lot of, like, why we play games is to be a part of the conversation and to make videos about it and stuff like that. So on that end, it makes sense to me for, it's like, yeah, it makes sense for him to be like, oh, that's old. But, like, as a consumer that is, like, just playing a game to play a game and have fun with it, I don't understand. Because it's like, if Celeste isn't a game that's like, oh, this game's old because it's styled like an old game and it looks like an old game and it kind of plays like an old game, but it's a new game at that time that it came out. Like, what's the difference between that being an old game and something like a port of Kingdom Hearts 3? Like, if you didn't play it before, it's new to you, so how is it any different?
I think a lot of it is kind of based in what we're doing with content creation and streaming. Certainly overly hyped. Well, properly hyped, overly hyped. That's subjective, or subjective. But if you watch your favorite streamer play through all of Spider-Man, are you more inclined to buy it in 6 months if it comes out on Switch or something you own after you've seen the entire game? And if you're going like, yeah, that's enough, that's it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm in this weird middle ground because I'm thinking of like how I consumed games before I got into content creation and how I do now. And even now, if there's a game that's like, I want to play this, but I'm not going to play it right now, I'm not consuming content about it. I'm not watching somebody play a Let's Play or a stream or whatever. Like, if it's a story-based game in that way. Like, of course, Smash Brothers. Somebody was streaming Smash Brothers, and I saw them streaming that all the time, and I didn't buy that for 6 months. I'm still going to buy that game. Yeah. It's still Smash Brothers, So it's like, it's just in that way. And it's like, I don't know. It's just a weird attitude to have about a game. Like, if you played it 6 months ago and you're like, I don't want to play that again, that makes sense. But just the mere knowledge that this game existed elsewhere before you played it, hindering you from playing it on the platform that you have, it's kind of strange to me.
No, that's very strange.
It's really it all comes down to, do you want to be part of the conversation? Mm-hmm. If you want to be part of the conversation, you're going to buy that game on whatever platform it comes out for first.
Right.
But if you just want to play the game and you want to have a good time playing the game, then get it on the piece of software that you want, or the piece of software.
Like, if you didn't have a Wii U, and you're talking about, oh, play Donkey Kong because it's an old game, it's like, buy Donkey Kong, it's a good game. Like, I don't get that. But
Twitchy Witch X says, I don't even think we're getting KH3. LOL. Highly doubt Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming. That's going to be a PS5 game at this point.
I agree with the latter part of that, but I would be shocked. It's not even a thing of like, man, I really think that Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming to Switch. I'm beyond that. I would be shocked if it didn't, because it would be that stupid.
Seriously. I was thinking, you guys have been chilling out Kingdom Hearts 3, freaking whoring it out to all these other consoles. Like, for the longest time.
It's on Xbox.
Right.
There's no other Xbox.
Right. And it's like, come on. Really?
It's I don't know. It seems so simple to us. So I guess the question is, what we need is to be enlightened on why this is such a difficult task.
I mean, it sounds like to Square, it's not.
Yeah.
Because even they're talking about bringing the Switch. They never said, like, oh, that's not possible. That can't happen on Switch. They're like, we'll bring it there, but it's going to be after the other things. So I think the biggest thing for them is money. I think that they do think that releasing on Switch is going to flatline the other consoles. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they're like, nah, we're going to wait a little bit and then release
we're going to stretch it out a little bit.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, stretch it out a little bit, this Q&A is going to stretch the episode out just a little bit.
This is long.
Yeah.
This is easily going to be the longest podcast we've ever done, and it's because there was so much direct stuff.
Yeah. And I like talking.
Do you want to break up these Q&As and like?
Yeah, we'll break them up. We'll do some other ones in a different episode.
All right, let's get to ones we can.
So let's go towards let's do like the bottom half, because those have like stuff that's more relevant to like the right now. And
all right,
I think some have addressed Dan in some way.
Okay, so you want to do like let's do like from LSD Ryan and on downward. Those.
Okay.
All right. So he goes. So LSD Ryan goes on to say, with Smash being the new big thing to stream for Nintendo fans, what do you see as the thing that'll take it down?
I think that
probably Mario Maker.
Yeah,
Mario Maker too.
For sure.
Definitely.
That would be
as like the, I think as the it thing that everybody's playing, Mario Maker for sure.
Yeah.
But I think that there's always going to be some level of people playing the game. Like Zero's not going to stop playing Smash Brothers on some level, and 5,000 people, 5,000 concurrents are just going to be there because it's Zero and it's Smash Brothers.
Absolutely.
It's a competitive game, and if there's anything I've learned about Twitch and competitive games, if they last forever. I mean, League of Legends has been out for how freaking long, and it's still constantly top 10 on there. Overwatch,
isn't it like top 5, top 3 a lot of the time?
It only depends on what specific games are coming out that week, but chances are it's in the top 10 or top 5 constantly.
Right.
Because there's nuance to it, and it's competitive, and competitive gaming is always fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely.
I think like in regards to like creators like us that play multiple games, then yeah, it'll probably be Mario Maker.
Oh, yeah.
Like the game that's like, okay, I'm not going to play Smash every day now. You know, I'll play Mario Maker.
Right.
I think it'll probably be that.
Mario Maker is good for the people that are not that competitive. It's going to be Mario Maker for at least 2-3 months. Solid.
Agreed.
Iron Thor says, have you guys played The Messenger? Because you should. It's amazing. I have not played it. Have you guys?
No, this is another game I was talking about on Bob's stream, where it's like, I haven't played this game. Like, everybody's like, it's the best game. And it's just, like, it's just one of those games that just didn't happen. It just didn't happen, Dan.
Messenger was one of my top games of 2018. I loved it.
I don't know why. It just like I talked to who does the publishing for this game? Pop Agenda. I like emailed back and forth with them about it. Or was like, maybe I'll cover it. I don't know, and it just didn't work out. So it just didn't end up playing it because there was just like other stuff or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. But
I'll play it at some point in life when there's a lull. If there's a lull, there's never a lull.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So who knows?
If you haven't played this game by now, it's gonna be
right.
I don't know if you'll get to it.
It'll just pass you. We won't, we gotta get to it.
I mean, you can run through it fairly quickly if you want to, but I mean, half the fun of it is really exploring and the difficult platforming challenges in it.
Yeah, I saw Bob streaming it. It looked fun.
That's why I started playing it.
Like.
Because I watched Bob and I started watching the completionist's review on it. And was like, nope, gotta play it.
Something else that looked fun, but when we got to it, wasn't actually that fun. Megaler 1000 says, "What did you guys think of Smash Ultimate's World of Light ending? Was it too vague? Did it leave enough room for another Smash game? Should we have gotten more? I'll be honest, I didn't even beat World of Light. I'll be completely honest with you. I just the time it seems too long and too too tedious, too repetitive. I just wasn't. I've been online. I've been just pick up games.
Yes,
I haven't played it. So
100%.
so I don't even care about a spoiler, guys. What would you guys think? I haven't even.
Dan, did you beat it? Okay, so the ending is stupid.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, it's like, it's Sakurai. So Sakurai is like this deep meaning of like, dude, like you're ruining the creator and stuff like that, and it's like it's just like this whole thing. It's like, watch the game theory video.
Yeah, just literally watch the game theory video.
All right, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
That's the best way to explain it. But here's the thing. One, it is too long.
Yes, very.
It's way too long for what you were supposed to be able to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you weren't a completionist, you could run through that pretty quickly. You just need to know.
I mean, even if you're not a completionist, it's still like at least 20 hours.
It's too long. I liked it, but there was definitely a point where I'm like, okay, all right, sure, another path, sure, another, okay, great, another path, great.
Like, there's no reason that mode is almost as long as Kingdom Hearts 3. That's ridiculous.
like,
That's ridiculous. It's crazy. Like,
I feel like the main draw to Subspace wasn't that it was fun necessarily, but it was that it was the lore thing of like, man, seeing these characters interact and blah blah. That was the only thing that made that like a noteworthy mode, and they took that out. Yeah. So it's kind of just like, I don't really like, like I heard people be like, there's a couple cutscenes, and it's like, nah, it's not even worth even saying that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like there's like maybe what would you say, like 10, 15 minutes worth of cutscenes, and like at least 70% of it were in trailers.
And it features the bad guys more than the people you care about.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. I don't.
And it's like, it's not even in a way of like, like how you would think about like, oh, it features the bad guys, like they're doing something. No, it's just like they're looking ominous and just sitting there, just floating around and moving and animating.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like a whole bunch of crap.
Well, what they should have, what they could have, should have, would have. Take a third of what they put out there, flesh that out more, and have more of the character interaction, the stuff that we want, and then let the spirit board be the rest of what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it once you start doing the spirit board, you're just like, this is just random versions of what I just played.
yeah, essentially.
So why didn't I just do this?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting to it. And hopefully, speaking of getting to it, hopefully you guys get to Final Fantasy. And Grimhane has a couple of questions. Just number one, favorite Final Fantasy game. Dan, do you have one?
It's a 7's mine.
7? Oh, yeah. So cliche.
It's cliche, but that's how I feel. What do you want me to do?
How dare you?
I'm sorry, guys. Dan's it's definitely Final Fantasy X-2. My bad.
Get out of here! I know you see. Oh man, no.
I haven't.
You know what's sad about that? I love 10, but 10-2 was just I don't like it. I don't like it.
As an outsider looking in, 10-2 sounds stupid.
It does.
like just like the naming of it is just dumb, obviously, and then the actual game itself, no. And he goes on to say, which would you recommend for someone getting interested into the series? AJ is excluded unless he wants to chime in because this isn't his genre. That's right. That's right.
I only played 15. See, I played that for like maybe like an hour and a half.
See, here's the thing. In Square, when 15 dropped, they're like, okay, the Final Fantasy game for old and newcomers as well. I don't know if I agree. I don't know if I would. Well, what do you think? What do you guys think? Do you think that would? I mean,
it made me want to play it.
I mean, 15's a really, really good jumping in point, but it doesn't represent the entire franchise as a whole.
Right.
It represents what the future of what the franchise is going to be as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Really, so Final Fantasy goes through a lot of different aesthetics. If you kind of like more modern, steampunky sort of stuff, you start with 7. If you like more mild, if you like more medieval fantasy sort of stuff, then 9. And then if you want what Final Fantasy is now, 10.
Yeah, because and that's a good point, because like you really can't get attached to anything. You like as far when it comes to that series, like it changes up so much between because we don't know what 16 is gonna look like. The hell if we know. And that's so who are we to say what would be like, here's what you jump in here, and then freaking the rest of the games just be so different from that. Like, you told me to jump in at 6, and now the rest of them look like this. And
you have to jump in to the Final Fantasy that fits your aesthetic the best.
Right.
Because that's going to get you into like what Final Fantasy tries to do and like how it builds on themes and all that sort of stuff. And then you can jump to the other ones and be like into it enough to get to play the game. But if you're really into like medieval fantasy and you try 7, you're probably not going to get into the Final Fantasy as a genre,
right?
Or as a genre, as a franchise. But you play Final Fantasy 9 instead, which one that I really, really want to play through. Then that gives you a better idea.
I got it yesterday. Can't wait to play through that and see what it's all about. He goes on to say, what game from the Direct are you least excited for? I assume you have talked about The most exciting, which is Box Boy, because no one likes Mario Maker.
It's such a grim thing to say.
Yeah, definitely.
The thing I'm least excited for is everything that you guys just talked about. If I'm honest, no, Rune Factory 5.
Rune Factory 5, yeah.
I guess just go your Rune Factory 4. I was gonna say Unravel 2 because I mean
4 or 5.
I mean both
the
of them. Both of them. I don't
Okay,
care. I don't care for either one. My second choice would have been Unravel 2 just because like I never got the first one, so I was like I don't really care about that announcement. Yeah. Oh no, and also what Grid, the racing game.
Oh yeah, I don't care about that either.
Racing games are always the ones like, oh yeah, I should have a good racing game. I always have a decent time when I play. I'm like, I played the crap out of like Need for Speed Underground. Back in the day.
Bought Forza Horizon 2 on my Xbox for $20. Never played.
I always pick it up and I start playing. I'm like, all right, this is fun. Oh shit, Mario Kart.
Right? Thank you. Patar35 says, welcome to the podcast, Dan.
Hey.
I assume y'all will already be talking about this in the podcast, but just in case, what do y'all find most surprising about the Direct? And what are y'all's thoughts on the Yoshi and Deus Ex demos? Now that even Tetris has gone to Battle Royale, what is next for the genre?
You should have brought that up. Question by
Yeah.
question.
Oh, yeah.
No. We already talked about the demos.
Yeah, right.
I think we covered the surprising parts.
Mm-hmm. And
what's the next Battle Royale game? Now, that I'm more interested in answering.
Give me a Pokemon Battle Royale game where I find random Pokemon in the environment and I have to battle with them. So if Dan finds... that's what I want. He asked me a question, and I'm answering it.
And didn't you like mention that before in a video or a podcast? I just want to heard you.
Yes, and this is what I'm reiterating that. This is what I want. This is what happens next.
That actually sounds phenomenal. It
would be so dope. Like, what if you found a Caterpie and then somebody else found a freaking Mewtwo?
Wow.
Like, that'd be so dope.
Yeah, if you don't see that Caterpie get absolutely disintegrated.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
Goodbye. No.
Breath of the Wild Battle Royale. You drop in, you could do the same thing, pick up different weapons or whatever, and then stab a bunch of different links.
Yeah, and then certain weapons break easier. Yeah. Like, if Tetris can be a Battle Royale, literally anything can at this point.
That opens up a whole can of worms.
Give me Pac-Man.
Speaking of can of worms, give me Worms Battle Royale. No, I don't know. Yeah.
No, that would be so long. Never mind. No, take that back.
Yeah, no.
I was like, I remember Worms. That's exciting. Yes. Wait. You would have to wait hours just for your turn.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
Forever.
And
100 worms.
Speaking of terrible, I'm terrible with that. This is the end of the podcast.
What?
You mean you're sad?
I'm terribly sad.
Sorry, I'm terribly sad. Yeah. No. No. It's terrible. That is in the podcast.
You're terrible at grammar, and you should stop talking.
Listen. It's late.
End of the podcast.
It's late of time.
This is a very long
This has
podcast.
been very long. I hear Alyssa moving around in the kitchen, probably starving, going like, "We need to do dinner," and I'm like, "Well, I gotta talk about Nintendo." So
yeah, one day we're gonna hit the 3-hour mark. I don't know when that's gonna be, but
we're not, I hope not.
Hey man, we were 20 minutes away. You guys want to keep going for another 20?
No.
Let's just jump into it. No, I'm joking. Okay, we're done. We're done.
Thank you guys so much for joining us in a super long marathon, long-winded episode of Directly to You. 50 episodes, yes.
You know what? This makes up for last week where the podcast was gutted.
Right,
we recorded a 2-hour-long podcast, but you didn't hear it. So now you get extra. You get that extra.
This is the 50th episode special.
Exactly.
This is special.
This is the 50th extravaganza.
Yeah, guess what? We got 20 minutes. Get Bob on the phone.
Yeah.
What if we could? That would be great. Maybe we'll get Bob on the 100th episode.
There we go.
And then on the 200th episode, we'll get Bob and Blessing and Alex and also you. And it was like just everybody.
That'd be
my
cool.
God.
And then on the 300th episode, we'll get Matt Pat because by then
Right?
we'll have 2 million subscribers.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
okay.
I mean, okay, I shooting us a little bit low there, but all right, I'll guess.
Hey,
2
man,
million.
I'll have I'll have 10 million too. I'll basically be like Matt Pat, all right?
There you go.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. You know how long 200 episodes is from now? Especially, who knows, you know? Logan might go off on his, his hiatuses. That might be 6 years from now.
God.
You know what? YouTube as a platform might collapse in on itself. We don't know.
Exactly.
But we do know that we'll see you guys right here Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays.
Not here.
And Saturdays.
Not on this channel. You're not seeing us on Tuesdays. Wednesdays. You're just seeing us on every Saturday. Every
on the main channel.
Also watch our videos.
Videos every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll see videos from Dan whenever he's not drowning. in
I'm
theories.
trying to upload weekly, so I'm trying to Thursdays and Fridays. One of those days.
One of
Yeah,
them.
make sure to comment.
Okay,
Okay,
goodbye.
bye.
Bye.